It's gonna come down for him beating Ohio State, whether it's on the road or at home. If he can't beat Ohio State, like I said again, you might have to question moving on from him because I mean you just can't win a signature game that organization brought you in to win, and that's that Ohio State game. So if you win that Ohio State game, you may get in the
That's what he
playoffs. This
say.
may put you
Yep.
in the driver's seat to get you in the playoffs. So that's a big win. Being down by 3 points, and the tight end comes out in the flat and scores a runs and scores a touchdown. Now it's going to come down to Ohio State. Can they get the monkey off their back? And we'll find out because that game is going to determine if Michigan going to be playoff bound or not.
Agreed. Agreed.
Agreed.
We know that's
Yep.
Harbaugh's Achilles heel. We know that he has yet to beat Ohio State in a game. That's his Achilles heel, and this is like Coach said. Couldn't have said it any better. This is the deciding game between the two of them, and it's going to determine who's going to make it in and who's not for them.
Yep.
For those those over in that conference. So that's going to be a huge game. Yeah,
Yeah,
with him,
it's
I'm
gonna
on the
be
same game as him.
it's gonna be a huge game, but I still feel like outside of Michigan, even though they had a scare against Penn State, is still pulling it out in a
Yeah.
way. In a way, Ohio State played against a good Purdue football team. Right now, they're saying that Ohio State is the only team right now that probably could beat Georgia.
I don't see that.
Mm.
I don't see that.
After
I don't think they
I'm just
could.
going off what
No,
was said.
no,
I'm just going off after what was said after
No,
the
I
game
get you.
because I watched
Yeah.
that game from start to finish.
Right.
Yeah,
They
say
said the way that how they beat Purdue and the way this defense is, I mean, the way the way this team is set up and built for Ohio State, they saying that it's a possibility that Ohio State is the only team in the nation that can beat Georgia.
And I actually,
Y'all might think this is crazy,
go ahead.
but I'm gonna be honest with you. The team I fear, or not fear, the team I think that could beat Georgia is Cincinnati. I really think Cincinnati has the firepower to beat Georgia. Not saying they have the power to do it. Not saying they will,
They have the
but
ability.
what I'm saying they
see,
have the
that's what
possibility of beating.
that's
Georgia.
what the committee basically goes by. Can Cincinnati beat Alabama? Can they beat? Will they be able to beat them head to head? Will Ohio State be able to beat Georgia head to head? Well, all these top teams that's in the playoff hunt right now, or Oregon, can they beat Alabama and Georgia and all these guys head to head? That's what the committee basically be judging on. Who's the best four teams, not the deserving teams. That's what makes this debate. So that's what makes everything so confusing. I wish they can move it up to at least eight, man. At least eight,
I really
eight best teams. I wish they just move it up, man.
Yeah.
Because some of these teams definitely deserve it. Like Cincinnati, I think they deserve to be in. And Oregon, I don't think they should be in. I think Oregon are frauds, man. I got them
We
my
comfort.
upset pick of the week next week, man.
We
But
comfort.
we'll talk about that on Friday though.
We conference. Yeah,
Really? That's where we going?
Yep.
Word. That's what's up.
We conference.
Oh, you don't got no clap back for that, Trey? You know you always got
You
the
know,
clap
Trey
back.
know.
You know what?
It's not like
If y'all ain't picked up, if y'all ain't picked the game yet,
back. And we have always, me and him used to work together when we was in the military. Me and Trey go way back when it comes to I've always told Trey that they conference is doodle, DODO. He knows that. They are doodle.
Spell it.
They gotta do
Can we be
PK.
honest though? Can we be honest though, Bishop?
Shout out to Josh Heupel when USC put that 50-10 championship on them in the national championship. But anyway, OU bias. But
What year
anyway,
was that? What, 19?
but true,
19
but
what?
it is what it is. When's the last time y'all won a national championship?
Now,
All right, come on, stop living in the past, Freddie. Come on.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying.
I do always cover it.
So what y'all gotta? So keep in mind, right? I'm only going. I talk. I will talk. I have no problem speaking. I'm only going to come with facts at that. So in this case, we're only talking about what he's talking about. USC do now. When we talk about Oregon, USC, the Pac-12 is a little beside himself when you come to the last couple of conferences that's out there now. We on the back end in the Big Five. We might be number 4 or something like that at this particular time. But again, as I was saying, just wait. Oregon's there for a reason. They have to fight through all the BS and all the minutia and stuff to get to where they are. And I still continue to think it's a bias when it comes to the CFP in general. But I mean, all you can do is wait for it. If they get beat,
the only reason Oregon's in because it got pretty uniforms. A lot of people like Oregon because of the uniform. They like uniform. A lot of people like to see Oregon come play. They got 100 different uniforms.
I wasn't either.
And they Oregon come out, they look good. Like if it
Bishop,
was the fastest,
Bishop, you gotta be honest.
Oregon was like hands down.
You gotta be honest.
Trey, hold on, time out, Trey. You gonna let a dude whose team won?
Let's go! You're gonna get up my Sooners.
Wow.
No. I got this for Trey. I got this for Trey.
So I can't. So
I
keep also. I'm a USC fan, so I don't have any stance right now. So when you every battle is a fightable battle. I know that.
This is my thing. Oregon is just like Oklahoma. It's no damn different. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when it comes to national title games,
it's a huge difference. Oregon is in the top 20.
Oregon and OU don't show up in national title games.
Well, they're not alike. They're nowhere alike.
How many national championships do Oregon have? And I win.
It doesn't matter about the championships. It doesn't matter about the championship. When y'all go to the championship, y'all shit the bed.
But we got 6. But we have 6. How many does Oregon have?
Understanding that. But when the last time when OU go to the college football playoff the last couple of years and what they do? They don't even make it there. Same thing for Oregon. It's the same thing.
No, you cannot put us in the same category as Oregon.
Yes,
you can't because y'all ain't smelled the top 4 this year.
In the national championship, y'all do.
And Oregon's been in the top 4 for the first time in how many years, bro?
And we talking about this year currently. I'm talking about this year currently.
Now we talking about.
I'm talking about the past when we talking about my Trojans.
Listen, if they stay in that top, if Oregon stay in the top 4, they're gonna get smoked.
We know that.
But that's the same thing but it's the same thing for OU.
Oklahoma.
It was the same.
Yes, it is. Y'all every time y'all got embarrassed by LSU last year. Just straight embarrassed by LSU. Then y'all got embarrassed by Clemson the year before that. Y'all got embarrassed. Y'all every time y'all get in the first round, y'all get embarrassed. You just get embarrassed.
Bishop, don't do it today, bro. Listen, spotlight. Yo, hold on, real quick, Bishop. Be careful. Tread lightly.
I'm not gonna tread lightly.
No, I'm telling you what. In the group chat, Spotlight showed us he got time, energy, and opportunity today. Don't mess with the man today,
I'm not worried about Spotlight. His name is Spotlight for the reason, and I'm gonna put the light on him. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put the light on him. You feel me? What I'm saying? The last time, if I'm not mistaken,
just leave them 2 on the screen.
We have beat Georgia. We have beat LSU. We have beat the Alabama.
What have you done for me lately?
We've done all of that. When the last time? Hold on. But when has the last time has Oregon beat Alabama? When has the last time a Pac-12 team has beat a Georgia? When has the last time a Pac-12 team beat any of the SEC teams? Don't worry, I'll wait. Don't worry, I'll wait. We have
Bishop.
Currently,
because you want the light up again.
What we can say is,
Bishop, Pac-12 team has beat an SEC team.
Currently,
Bishop is still
currently a Pac-12
You gotta hear me out, Bishop.
Currently, a Pac-12 team only has the opportunity to do that.
The Big 12 is not successful when it comes to the college football playoff. They just have not won anything when it comes to the college football playoff in the last 2 to 3 years. It's just plain and simple. Everybody picks Oklahoma to go to the national championship every year. And what they do, they fail us again by getting blown out in the playoff. So with that being said, I'm at a point where I'm scared to have OU in the playoffs because every time
I got a question for you, Bishop. Who did y'all lose to last year in the college football playoff? Who did y'all lose to when y'all had Jalen Hurts? That was the last time y'all was in the playoff. Who did y'all lose to?
I forget who we lose. I know we beat Florida. I know we beat the Gators.
They lost to Clemson.
Y'all lost to LSU.
No, they lost to LSU.
That was with Joe Burrow. Y'all got embarrassed. Y'all didn't lose. Y'all got embarrassed. Y'all, you know what happened the year before that? Y'all lost to Clemson. You know what happened the year before that? You lost to Georgia when you had Baker Mayfield in the first round. I remember all that. Yep, I remember.
Hold on, bro.
That's when they had Nick Chubb and Sony Michel. They last year.
Okay, yeah.
Last year, and then I think they beat y'all in overtime.
It's enough said because all 3 years I picked Oklahoma to win, and they
mind you though, again, y'all still ain't answered my question. When's the last time a Pac-12 team has beat a SEC team? Because we beat Georgia, we beat Alabama, we beat both of those teams in the SEC.
Did you beat them?
Did you beat them when it mattered? You didn't beat them when it mattered.
Yeah, we beat them when it mattered because we beat
when?
Hold on.
When?
No,
you just lost to him. You just lost 2 years ago.
Yo, y'all can't let my man Bishop be great. Like, I know, but now I feel bad. I'm about to be on Bishop's.
I know I'm about to get the Raiders slander. I know I'm about to get that. So I got to give him his slander when I get mine. I'm just saying.
I'll take it. I expected this morning. Now I didn't want nothing less. I want all the smoke because I'm a ride or die. I want all the smoke.
Talk about it.
You want all of it?
I want all of it. Bring it.
Hold on. But don't you gonna have your team because the smoke get too thick? Your team start choking. Don't do that, Bishop. Don't set yourself up for failure.
It is what it is. It is what it is. They exploited us. They showed what everybody. Actually, they didn't exploit us. The Kansas exploited us. The Tulanes exploited us. Everybody exploited us. It was a matter. Texas even exploited us, even though we came back and busted them in their mouth. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We knew our defense wasn't on the caliber of making it 12-0. We knew. I knew that for sure. I've been talking about our defense all season. That was not a question whatsoever. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'll take all the smoke. We lost, bro. It is. I'm not mad at that. We lost. I can't knock that.
Okay, so let's get straight to the point with this NFL Week 10. What a week it was in the NFL Week 10. We're just going to go through the games, and then we're going to go back and talk about certain topics from certain games. Then you have, of course, the Cowboys beat the Atlanta Falcons, which I expected them to do anyway. 43-3. The Tennessee Titans wins against the New Orleans Saints 23-21. You have the Colts beating the Jaguars 23-17. Patriots beat the bricks off the Browns. Like a lot of people said on my morning show, a lot of them picked the Browns when I picked the Patriots to win that game, and that's what they did. 17. The Bills beat the Jets 45-7. Patriots and Browns. 45-17 Bills over the Jets. Oh my God, this tie between the Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Nobody wanted to win.
Oh my God. We're going to talk about that once we get through all the scores. Washington football team upsets the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 29-19. We got the Panthers coming up a comeback win. Cam Newton's coming back. Had 2 touchdowns in this game, 34-10. You have Vikings upset the Los Angeles Chargers 27-20. And the Eagles beat the Denver Broncos 30-13. You have the Packers shut out the Seattle Seahawks 17-0. And then you have, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs and my Las Vegas Raiders 41-14. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions and Pittsburgh Steelers game because this is ridiculous the way this game went.
Yo, some of the players didn't even know you could tie. Let that sink in.
I watched that game.
Keep playing until win came.
I just didn't understand what was going on with Pittsburgh. Like, I understand you want to throw the football in bad weather, but keep running the damn ball with Najee Harris. Just keep doing it. No, it's bad weather.
Yeah, and on top of that, look who you got throwing the ball. Mason Rudolph.
Like
Mason Rudolph, he's not good. The highlight of his career was when Myles Garrett hit him with his own helmet. That's it. If you do a highlight of his career, that's the intro.
There's no way Mason Rudolph should be throwing the damn ball 50 times.
Yes.
He threw the ball 50 times. And DeAndre Swift got 30 carries. Najee Harris got 23. Najee Harris should have damn near had 40 carries. Jared Goff, imagine having a tie when Jared Goff throughout the whole game was going 7 of 13 for only 40 yards. But he went 14 of 25. Imagine that. I mean, again, I respect Mike Tomlin as a head coach, but this Steelers team, they're not a very good team. They're actually not a very good team.
I picked the Lions to win this game. That's the funny part.
I know I picked the Steelers. I picked the Steelers to win this game, but goddamn, the Steelers looked awful yesterday. They looked terrible.
Terrible.
But this is the thing, Coach Dante and all y'all spotlight. So when me and Trey did this touchdown crew yesterday morning, and I think we even spoke about it on here too. Mm-hmm. Like I was saying that because of Big Ben, and even though we know, like Pride said, Mason Rudolph is not a quarterback, bro. He's not that dude. I don't know why Tomlin got this dude throwing 50+ balls. That's ridiculous. I don't think that's not no. Especially when you got Najee Harris in your backfield, that's just crazy. Especially with the weather, you just got to be. Come on, man, you got to be smarter. And this is why Trey, why I said what I said yesterday in regards to this possibly could put Mike Tomlin on the hot seat. Not saying he's going to get fired, but again, this is the reason why he may possibly be put on the hot seat because of the what he's doing with the team and how they're playing. Again, Big Ben, it's time for Big Ben to go. Bye, Ben. You've had a great run. Your time is up. Matty Ice, y'all need to go. Hey, thank you for what y'all have done for the league. We appreciate both of you. One of you have Super Bowl rings. The other one doesn't. Hey, but your time is done. And Mason Rudolph is not that dude. He's not the future of the Steelers. The Steelers need to get a quarterback. And they need to get a quarterback soon.
I'm surprised they started Mason Rudolph because of was it last year when Big Ben was injured and they had Mason Rudolph?
Right.
And it's like, you guys did not really care about him. That's why y'all went and got Dwayne Haskins. But
they had Joshua Dobbs too out of Tennessee.
And then they let him rock.
Yep.
They let him go. They let Joshua Dobbs go.
Yeah, it's this weird thing. Like me personally, I would have started Dwayne Haskins. Only reason is because you already know what you have in Mason Rudolph. I put Dwayne out there. Let's see what you got. Because like you said, they're gonna need a quarterback. They're gonna need one, and that's like on the top of their list. Because Big Ben, if he comes back, he's gonna be a coach. Let's call it what it is. If he comes back into an actual contract, give me a helmet. At this point,
but at the same time, when it comes to Mason Rudolph, I know he's not a great quarterback, but he put this team in position to win this game, especially with Deontay Johnson making that catch and then fumbling. Mason Rudolph made a good throw there, and Deontay Johnson just go down.
But you're right. Hold on. You're right. He made one good throw. Now let's talk about the other at least 12 that he threw, and absolutely nobody knew who he was throwing to, why he was throwing the ball, who even took. Same thing for Detroit though. Jared Goff didn't look no better. Either. You can make a case he looked worse. You can make that argument because listen, you not even get an overtime, and you're not even touching 200 yards. That's horrible.
And the Steelers almost they had a chance to pretty much put the game away. They were on the goal line. How the hell you throw the ball all 4 times and Najee Harris not touching one good time? How the hell you do that? How the hell you do that?
Mike Tomlin. That's why I say Mike Tomlin might be.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand. And then you get close to field goal range. Guess what? The tight ends fumble the goddamn football. When you close to field goal range, the tight end fumbles the ball. This Steelers team, they're just not a good football team, man. They're just not a good football team.
Not only that, what you talked about, Spotlight, in regards to they had a chance to win it. You had a chance to win it against the damn Detroit Lions. Let's not forget who they playing. It's the Detroit Lions.
We had
it shouldn't even be close.
It was a 7th-round pick running back for the Detroit Lions running all over them. He was 2 picks away of being Mr. Irrelevant. He ran all through that Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
So let's not dismiss the fact that the Lions have been knocking on the door of getting their first win. It's just been unfortunate situations. So they've been in there, and they've been in there against teams that are some of the top tier teams in the NFL currently. They took the Ravens to a OT, I believe. Did they?
No, I think so. They lost on a 66-yard field goal.
Okay, you're correct.
Regulation.
On the regular. So you know, saying they're not. I mean. And the aspect, their record is what they is saying that they're scrubs, but they have been there in all this in which we're talking about. And just as I said and predicted that I predicted they was going to get their win this week, but I mean, it came short. They end up with a tie. So, I mean, they're not completely scrubs. And if I do remember, Watt went out twice, was it? Or was it, twice. So he went down. He ended up going down for a knee and a hip injury. So, I mean, the Steelers wasn't with all their pieces. Of course, they wasn't within Ben. We know Ben is a better quarterback than what Mason Rudolph is. So, I mean, and then taking consideration when we talk about pieces, the GM for the Steelers hasn't been too doing well in getting the pieces are around them. Where they went out and got Dwayne Haskins, but what does that say for Dwayne Haskins? If we say that about Mason Rudolph, then what is that saying for Dwayne Haskins and why Tomlin isn't starting him? Right. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. So that's all to take in consideration. Like at this, what they're 5-3, 5-4, 5-4, which is still a winning record at this point. So I mean. It's still something to remain.
I totally get where you're coming from, Trey, because like you said, it has to be something behind Dwayne Haskins and why he didn't get to start over Mason Rudolph, because I'm sure Mason Rudolph.
But according to Nate saying that Dwayne Haskins was hurt.
He wasn't. He was active. He was on the rush.
He was hurt. I know he was hurt last week because he was in street clothes.
Yeah, last week he was. Okay. Yeah, this week he was.
Well, maybe. Well, see, then that may be the reason why he didn't get to play. Even though he may not have been completely hurt this weekend, the coaches might not have felt comfortable enough to put him out there after being hurt last week.
Apparently, he wasn't hurt enough where he could suit up.
Yeah, right. So it is what it is. But when it's all said and done, it's still the fact of the matter. I hear what you're saying, Trey, in regards to the Detroit Lions. Yeah, they've had some close games. When it's all said and done, if you can't finish, you can't finish. And if you don't get that win, you can't get that win. The fact of the matter, you're still the worst team in the NFL. One of the worst, if not the worst team in the NFL. So that still has no reason why the Steelers should have made this game, or this game should have been a tied game. There's no reason why that should have been.
Speaking of tie games, do you think the NFL need to change this rule?
I do. That's my personal opinion. Yes. I feel like that tie BS need to go. Let I don't know why we went to that tie. We used to play. It used to be, we used to play it out until somebody win. This tie BS need to go, man.
It kind of messes up playoff implications for a lot of people.
So that's why you supposed to win the game. You get 15. You get 15 minutes. You get 15 minutes to get to outscore your opponent.
But here's the thing.
Additional 15 minutes.
Because right now the Pittsburgh, they're 5-3-1, right? Mm-hmm. How does that factor in? Because they're not going to win the division. If at best they're probably going to be a wild card team. How does that tie work?
Because it depends.
Because that's what I'm saying.
It really depends on the conference wins as well.
Yeah. Division, yeah.
Because they're at this point, they're a half a point. You're a half a point or a half a point ahead or a half a point behind somebody, whoever is in there in contention. So it just depends on how the records fall. There's been a lot
of teams that had winning records and had that tie and was not making it to the playoffs because of that.
Because that's my point. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said they need to get rid of it. But I know what Trey's saying. Trey's saying you got another extra 15 minutes to get that, to try and win the game. I get that, but I feel like, man, you know what I'm saying? It like anything else, man. Just like a heavyweight bout, UFC. When it's all said and done, grind until you figure it out. Because one team, it's all about stamina. It's gonna take the last little bit to see who's gonna have enough in the trenches to get that.
See, this is my thing.
Want to see that between two bad teams?
Huh?
I said, do you really want to see that against with two bad teams? Like come on now, let's call it what it is, bro.
I wouldn't mind. This really was
with the NFL in disguise, because listen, bro, if you ask me, who cares about an overtime with the Jags versus Texans? Let's call it what it is. So it's good to have that time just to get the game over with. My bad.
But when you got a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers that's trying to compete for a division, trying to compete for the AFC to get in the playoffs, it just really sucks that they got to have that tie on it. See, with the Detroit Lions, it don't mean nothing to them to have a tie. They'd rather have a tie than have a loss at this point for the Detroit Lions. But it's not benefiting Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh has a better record. So it kind of sucks for one way, but it doesn't suck for another way. So I don't know.
I think it just has to be melancholy and even kill, because at the end of the day, that could have been a game in which the Steelers lost, in which that would be more detrimental to them than the tie is. So the tie after the 15, another additional quarter of playing, it's just a constellation to both teams at that point, and that's why I think it needs to just stay where it is. It's only going to affect the team down the line.
But I think if you put a second overtime in, don't make it 15 minutes.
No, I'm not putting a second overtime.
If you're not putting a second overtime, I say, listen, just like with the NBA, it's like 5 minutes for overtime, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Keep it at 5 minutes when it comes to the NBA. But I say, if you got an NFL game and it goes to a second overtime, put it at 10 minutes, 7 minutes.
You know what I actually would do? This is what I
just make it a little bit more quicker and see what they can do. I mean, these guys are professionals for a reason.
It's something quick, easy, so that way we can all move on. Because let's be honest, once it gets to overtime, if it's not your team, you don't care. Unless it's the playoff. Let's call it what it is. Right. You know what I mean? This team,
or you're trying to win money.
Or if you want to
the spread.
Here's what I would do.
I'm just saying.
Here's what I would do. This it'll be easy, right? Go do the overtime. If by the grace of God, somehow they're still in overtime. Simple. Next possession, you're on the 20-yard line. There's no first downs. Get as close as you can.
I like that.
And
I like
do it like that.
I like that.
That's
And
good.
do it like that. And if y'all don't want to do it like that,
I was gonna say the same thing,
At
Pride.
the end of the fourth down, either go for the touchdown or kick the field goal. But
I
here's
was
the
gonna
thing,
say
if you
the
go
same
for
thing,
the fourth
Pride.
down, put something in it. If you miss that, you lose. Like do it.
Yeah, just
we need to
yeah,
do something like that. So that way there's some type of
do it to a
conclusive
point
end
where
it.
because you know they changed that overtime rule where even if they kick a field goal, they still have a chance.
Get an
to score.
opportunity.
No,
Yeah, you still get an
that second OT, you get to the
It's
20-yard
do or die.
line. If you score, that's the game. There's no getting no second chance in that second overtime.
I wish y'all could hear yourselves right now because evidently y'all not listening to one another.
Why you say that? Because
That sounds silly. That sounds amateur. That sounds college-like. That's what that sounds like.
Hold on.
Why?
Hold on, time out.
What's
I
wrong with
understand. Hold on, but I get it doesn't sound great. I understand. It doesn't sound professional. But let's call it what it is. At overtime, excuse my French, who gives a fuck about professionalism? We trying to get a winner and a loser and move on with our lives. Like, let's call it what it is. Like, and it gets to a point where, like, again, I'm not saying implement this in the beginning of the second half. No. When after the original overtime is over, let's call it what it is.
Let's find a winner.
Coaches want to go home. The rest sure as hell want to go home.
Absolutely.
A lot of the players want to go home. The fans 9 times out of 10 are already clearing out the stadium so they can get out. The people selling the hot dogs want to go home. Like, everyone wants to go home. So I understand, Trey, what you're saying. It sounds silly. It sounds childish. And I understand it. But look here. I would rather at the end of overtime, they go out there and they look like literally pee-wee football rather than have to do yet another 15 minutes of watching two teams who can't spell the word end zone. Like, let's call it what it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, the NFL, they're stupid.
Agreed.
The NFL rules are stupid. They really are. Or if you don't want to do that, let's utilize the kickers more. You know what I mean? Let's give them, like, you start to 30, then back to the 35, then the 40, then the 45, then the 50. You know, give them 5 chances and see what happens, something like that. But
just put the ball on the 20-yard line.
I totally get where Trey coming from.
That's what I'm saying. Put it on the 20. You got 4 chances. You got 4 chances to get as close as you can as possible. If you score a touchdown, they got their opportunity, and that's it. And if they score, bet. Let's move them back. Put them at the 50-yard line. Let's end this.
I guess what Trey is trying to say is that's all well and good in the regular season. If it's a NFC AFC championship game and it comes down to that, are we saying something different?
I mean, yeah. I mean, no, because you still need the game to go.
So y'all know,
the game needs to go, but that's to get to the Super Bowl.
So in the playoffs, they're gonna. I mean, it's different. Of course, the rules are different in the playoffs because you can't wait around for that to happen. I just think. I just think at this point the tie isn't that big of an issue currently right now because it's up to the team. Every team has the same aspect. The same goal is to win the game. Is to win the game. At the end of the day, if they can't win the game, then they both end with the consolation prize of a tie. Again, as we stated, it's going to even hurt or help down the lines because as long as they got that tie and you don't have a loss, you didn't get a win, but you don't have a loss either. So it could be helpful, it could be beneficial to that organization, or it might be detriment to that organization. It has to remain to be seen at the end of the season. So I think the tie is good I just think the tie is good where it's at.
I think I don't get me wrong. I think it's good as well, but at the same time, what if this was a playoff game? Just imagine.
Or a Super Bowl.
Yeah, what do we do then? What do we do then if that 15
They keep going. For those, they keep going. But for the regular season, it's going to end in a tie after 15 minutes, and neither team is able to score.
I mean, I don't know. It's a
lot that you got to implement to try to change this overtime.
Yeah, it is a lot. Like there's really no clear cut answer. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, it's not no clear cut answer.
You know, but the thing is like I personally I don't want ties in the NFL. I don't really want them.
I don't either.
Be honest, you know what I mean? And the reason being is because it's gonna make things kind of messy.
I think they're the only professional. I think they're the only professional team that ends in a tie besides hockey.
I think soccer does too.
Yeah, soccer does.
I don't watch soccer, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, soccer does too. And so like, but at the same time, like soccer's kind of different because some of those things is not really based on record. It's based on the number of goals you have. So you can lose the game, but let's say you scored 5 goals, you're still in first. Like theoretically speaking, a team can have no wins and still be first because of the amount of goals they score. So soccer's kind of doing they in their own world. They doing their own thing.
Yeah, they got their own rules and everything when it comes to that.
You know what I mean? Shout out to them. But for me, me personally, I just don't want ties in football because at the end of the day, it's gonna make things kind of murky because you're always gonna have those fans, whatever fan base. Oh yeah, you can't. It's not a loss, so it doesn't matter. We should be in the playoffs. Like that's kind of like the murkiness that you're kind of going in, but
So what was the most impressive win from these weekend games in the NFL? Who had the most impressive win? I know Pride is going to go at the New England Patriots over the
No.
I know you're feeling that right now.
Don't get it twisted. I'm feeling it. You feel me? Like if we're allowed to be casuals for one moment, the Patriots, based on this performance, is the top 5 team in the NFL. Again, I'm indulge me. I'm just being a casual. Don't hang me spotlight. I see that look you're giving me.
No,
but all jokes aside,
I picked your team to win. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, but all jokes aside, if you want to see New England, I'll accept that. But the Dolphins, not only their defense, they finally played how everyone was expecting them to play in terms of defense, right?
Okay.
They did what they had to do, and in terms of having Lamar Jackson do those spectacular things, they kind of neutralized them a little bit. They kind of really contained him to the point where, a lot of those plays that he usually does that people kind of drop their jaw in, he didn't really have as many opportunities to do that. So any day you get to neutralize a guy like Lamar Jackson, to me, that's impressive. And if you want to say another team, even though they lost, the Saints. Look, I thought they were going to get mollywopped every way imaginable. And the fact that they kept it close, again, I understand, they still lost, but they do deserve a little bit of credit just for keeping it relatively close. You know what I mean? I understand the Titans kind of, they're dealing with their own injuries, but
that's why I can't agree with you with that one, probably because it's the Titans. I really didn't. I didn't expect that game. Most people pick the Titans. If I had to pick a game, I would say the Washington and Tampa Bay game.
Yes, I agree.
There's no way anyone saw Tampa Bay losing to Washington. No way. Not when the GOAT is playing.
Let me be
the first to say this.
Go ahead.
Ron Rivera, man, hats off to you because you coached the game on how to beat the GOAT. He held the ball for 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. He did not allow Tom Brady to get back on the field to beat his team.
Yep.
He just gave you the recipe of how to beat Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Well, but here's the thing: he did something not a lot of coaches really understand. He understood the clock and to use it to his advantage.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of coaches tend to just ignore until they end when it's too late.
Absolutely, bro. Don't get me wrong. Tom Brady made some key mistakes. He did throw 2 interceptions.
In the first quarter.
In the first quarter. And he had 20. He was 23 for 34, 220 yards. But the fact of the matter is, when everybody knows, everybody who's a football fan, football analyst, all of that, everybody knows that if you give Tom Brady any time on the clock, he has the possibility of ruining your season or ruining
but
your
even
career.
When Chase Young went down, they still dominated.
And on top of that,
and that sucks for Chase Young, man. It sucks.
Yeah, he's out with the ACL. ACL, it's pretty much done, bro.
But I will say that I did pick Tampa, right? But a lot of people thought it was going to be a stomp. And I was like, but you got to be careful because this is virtually the same wild card team that took this Bucs team to the wire last year.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So I didn't fully. Now again, I did pick the Bucs, but I didn't completely discount Washington because I'm like, look, man, I don't know what it is, but Washington gets up for Tampa. These past couple of years, they've gotten up for Tampa.
They got the upper hand on them.
Yeah, and it's like this thing, and I think it really has to do with 2 things. Taylor Heineke just does not care. This kid
has nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, if I get cut, that's what y'all expect me anyway.
That's the most feared quarterback
personally,
in the world.
I think Taylor Heineke should be the guy for Washington football team.
Yes.
To be honest with you.
I agree.
I think he should be the guy.
He's showing.
He's showing.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. When the Washington football team coming into the season, they were just like, you know what? Our defense is going to hold it down. Taylor Heineke, just don't mess up. That really
don't lose the game. Don't lose the game.
Hey, that's it. And now it's the opposite. We're to the point they're like, yo, Heineke, come on, bro. You gonna have to give us 4 TDs, 400 plus yards. Your defense just don't mess up. Like that's kind of how it is. And when you're telling
keeps the team in games, just the defense just has been very they've just been very underachieving. The defense.
I put them in the same category. I put them in the same category as we put the Dolphins. We expected them to be so much better, and then all of a sudden they came into the season and they just kind of just
fail.
Yeah, that's, you know what I mean. And again, now if you're going up to your quarterback and saying, not only you have to do this, but I believe you can do this, that has to be your guy. Like, so, you know when you're telling Heineke, yo, carry the team on your shoulders, and then not look at him as, you know what, let's give you the opportunity to be a franchise quarterback. Like, there's no thing like that. And on top of that, right here, right now, he's better because originally they had Ryan Fitzpatrick, and then he got injured, and you know that's how Heineke got the job. At this point, even if Fitzmagic comes back, look, I love you, bro, but
he's not coming back this year.
He might next year, but that's kind of. I mean, I would bring him back as a backup. That's what I would do. I mean, you give yourself a decent.
Who you talking about, Fitzpatrick?
I'm talking about Fitz. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So wasn't Heineke there last year?
Yeah.
He was there last year, but
was Fitzpatrick there last year?
No. Was there
they brought Fitzpatrick in.
Right.
No. They brought him in to replace. Hold on. They brought him in to replace
last year.
He got injured, and on the way Heineke's playing, let me ask you a question. Do you think Ron Rivera is going to go to Fitzpatrick and say, yo, Fitz, we need 400 plus yards and 4 touchdowns? No, he's not. He's not doing that to Fitzpatrick. He's not.
But I'm thinking that's why Fitzpatrick was starting, because he believed he was the most capable quarterback of giving them the win.
Yeah, but Fitzpatrick wasn't there last year. It was Alex Smith. And Alex Smith wasn't going. It wasn't.
And they brought in Fitzpatrick.
Then they brought Taylor Heineke in as an undrafted free agent, and then boom, you see him just go off. But you know, Fitzpatrick was with Miami last year when he had the issues between him and Tua, who's going to start. So it's always been a quarterback situation with Ryan Fitzpatrick, no matter where he goes.
Yeah,
and it's just because like if you really
he's the stopgap. But he's a good stopgap.
Yeah, he is. That's really what he is. He's like a bridge.
He's definitely a good backup.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like they say, he's a good backup just in case something happens with Heineke. You have a solid backup.
Right.
It's Patrick. You know, that's what I'm saying. But some people think that he should come back and take the job again. And I'm like, look, man, you're out of your mind, because the way this kid is playing, like they're putting high expectations on this kid. And he's doing what he can to try to meet them. He's keeping them in games and stuff. So it's kind of like, at some point, not only we got to give this kid credit, we got to give him an opportunity to see if he can be, you know, what the Washington football team now believes he can be. Like we got to give him that shot eventually. You know what I mean?
And again, you still got to give all the credit to Ron Rivera, man. The time of possession was 39 minutes to Tampa Bay's 20. Like, come on, man. Like,
and that matters.
That's how you manage a game, bro. You manage a game. That's how you keep your team relevant.
And that's how you do that. Not only that, we also have to credit Ron Rivera. When they got those two picks in the first quarter, they were all hype and rowdy. He let them celebrate. He was letting them have fun, but then he pulled them back down and said, "Hold on, bro. See that right there? It's called the game clock, right? Until you see that thing hit like quadruple zeros the fourth time." That means we're still playing. So, you know what I mean? We need to keep going. We need to make sure. And again, that's something that Ron Rivera is very special in. We're like, he lets you celebrate. You know what I mean? Like when you do a good play,
but don't lose focus.
Let you enjoy yourself for like that brief moment. Then he grabs you and says, okay, hold on. Now,
don't lose
congratulations.
Focus.
Exactly. Congratulations. Don't lose focus. You still need to step back out on that field. And I'm still going to need you to perform at a high level. And Ron Rivera, look, he deserves an immense amount of credit, because let's be honest, bro. Like Washington, like.
But let me ask y'all this. With this win for Washington and the loss for Tampa Bay, what does this say about Tampa Bay? Does this put Tampa Bay for y'all on a regards of where we thought they were going to be?
I think it puts the league on notice that Tampa Bay can be beat. They're very beatable.
It's the same.
It's the Saints, though.
It's the same thing from last year. I don't see no difference. It's the same. They're in the same situation that they was last year. They came out hot. They lost to the Saints. Then they had a little streak again. They lost another game, and then so it's no different.
I think the difference with Tampa Bay Tampa Bay was, even though they record said what it said, they was more healthier last year than it was this year.
And y'all got to keep in mind they don't have Gronk, they don't have Brown. They was missing some key players.
They still missing Winfield on the defensive side,
right?
And I don't think Sherm played either,
right?
Yeah.
So we do got to keep that in mind. So with that being said, we don't know if that would have been a huge game changer for the Tampa Bay if they had all their weapons. But still, I get where you're coming from, Trey. I feel you. It does look like a repeat of last season, which we know what happened in the end. They were Super Bowl champions. Do y'all feel like they're in that same?
I don't feel like
that's the same direction though.
No,
so
I don't think so.
You never know what the thing on the NFC. You just never know what the NFC like. It's always a different team from the NFC is going to the Super Bowl. It just never fails. It never fails. But for me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Washington was more surprising. But the Panthers in Arizona, even though it wasn't no Kyler Murray, but even though Arizona's defense is still a good defense, their defense got exposed yesterday.
I mean,
they got exposed yesterday. Mm-hmm. I don't know. PJ Walker, he plays behind him, but Cam Newton came in. He did what needed to be done, and he was very humble about it. And I'm happy that he did touchdowns about it.
Hold on, I was about to say humble. Was he humble? Was he humble? Because I could have.
Let me tell you why. Because when he first got there, and he had his press conference, he said it's not about him; it's about winning games. That's why I say that.
Oh, okay.
Because he could have come into that press conference and been like, I'm Cam Newton. I'm this. I'm that. I'm the 2015 MVP. I went to the Super Bowl. He didn't come in with that mindset. He came in about wanting to win games.
That's not Cam, though. That's not Cam. And he's going to say what he needs to say to make sure everybody's already.
That's not true. We've seen Cam go on some press conferences and say some stuff now.
I agree with you. I'm not saying he doesn't, but the fact that the difference is he said that when he was a starter. He said that when he was already on
That means he's humbled. He's humbled to be the backup.
But here's my thing.
But listen to me when I say this. I said this yesterday on Touchdown Crew. I watched a YouTube video of Cam once he made it back into the Panthers locker room and stuff. Mm-hmm. Cam is not as humble as you think he is, bro. When I tell you that, I seen him say a video on YouTube. His thing was, it was 3 things that he wanted when it came down to being getting back into the league. One of the main things was he was like, I want to be a starter. That's what I deserve to be I deserve to be a starter. I want to be a starter. He was like, ching ching. He's like, I want to go to a team who, that can contend for a Super Bowl. Ching ching. These are exact words. Ching ching. That's what he's doing. So his humbleness. This is what I'm saying. Spotlight. He makes himself look humble to the media because everybody has this stigma about Cam Newton that he's a prima donna. That he doesn't. He's all about self. He's got to do that because again, y'all don't forget Cam Newton, being that he's back with the Panthers. This is his opportunity to show whether or not he still can play in the league. So he's got to do everything right.
We'll see, because I still think PJ Walker will be the starter. I think right now he's got to pick up the Matt Rule's offense. He never played under Matt Rule's offense, number one. And number two, PJ Walker didn't play bad.
No, he didn't.
Just that Cam Newton got the limelight because he had 2 touchdowns in the red zone. But we have not seen Cam Newton go up to push that team to the red zone. PJ Walker got them there, which I think in certain instances, PJ Walker should have stayed in the red zone. He deserved those touchdowns, in my opinion.
I mean,
but at the same time, I was not expecting the Carolina Panthers defense to play as well too. Gilmore played well. Shaq Thompson played well. Mind you, you said the same thing about Miami's defense. This is what we're supposed to see out of Carolina's defense. This is exactly what we're supposed to see. But Sam Darnold has not been living up to his standard either. So for me, when it comes to Cam Newton, he's talking about, he wants to be a starter, but you're not a starter. Can you say you want to go to a contending team, but Carolina's not a contending team?
Yeah.
So what are we really saying?
I get it. I mean, look, let me. Because
we all know they won because of CMC. That's why they won.
I mean, if we're gonna be honest,
keep it real.
But I got a question, and Greg, I want to I want to hear what you think, like, because people are now like Spotlight are raving about this Carolina Panthers defense, right? at some point, do need to take into consideration that Colt McCoy, after let's be honest, I'm just saying we need to put it in context.
I said that.
That's true.
I said that. But at the same time, with PJ Walker being a quarterback and how people raved about this Arizona Cardinals defense, they were still able to put up 34 points. But even though Colt McCoy was out there, they just wasn't Arizona just wasn't prepared for what Carolina was going to bring. And we can't put it all on.
I'm not putting it all on nobody.
That defense is a top 15 defense.
Hold on.
Arizona's a top 15 defense. I'm just saying.
I understand that, but Greg, I just want to hear your perspective on this because we got guys like Spotlight who think Colt McCoy is back. He's better than ever.
I'm not saying that.
But let me ask you.
Bro, we're not going to do that because you gave praise to Colt McCoy last week. We're not going to.
No, I didn't. Whoa, Skip. Whoa, you got the wrong man. You got the wrong man. You got the wrong man at the wrong time. That was not me. You guys was fiending for him. I was just like, hey, yo, he can't do it. He can't do sustainable. It's not sustainable. All of a sudden, pride is right, but now it don't matter. But anyway, Greg, back to our conversation because we seem to get interrupted. I'm trying to form a relationship with you. We keep getting interrupted.
You know what? Get out of here.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe it's more that the Panthers defense really held it down? Or do you think it was just the fact that Colt McCoy kind of came back down to earth because he went 11 for 20, 107 yards with one pick. And then he ended up getting sat down for Chris Stratlander, as I call
him. He got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. He got injured. He got injured.
Look here. Listen. If I had that stat line,
injured,
I got injured. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel it was more on the Colt McCoy coming back down to earth, or do you think this Panthers defense kind of forced him to come back down?
Yeah, it's. I feel like it's kind of a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Carolina, like you guys have said, they have had a solid defense all season. Colt McCoy, I mean, let's not forget, Colt McCoy is not Kyler Murray. Now, if Kyler Murray is playing in this game, it would have turned out a little bit different. I'm not saying Carolina wouldn't have won, but it would have been different from what we saw.
Say that.
So, whenever Kyler comes back, like I said, Arizona, they're going to be in it. If they get the number one seed, I feel like Arizona can make it all the way to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But Carolina, the defense is solid. Colt McCoy is just an average quarterback.
You being too generous.
He ain't even
average. No, Colt McCoy, maybe a little bit below average. I mean,
if you take in respect of this Carolina, I think this Carolina defense is actually good. But when you have a quarterback like Sam Darnold to put the defense in a tough situation, turn the ball over and stuff, and starting this defense on short fields, hey, you're wearing this defense out. There's no way you can go in New York and score 5 points and Sam Darnold just get set up and Sam Darnold just wets the bed for the last 4 weeks. It's no way. So and put this defense in a tough bind. So I don't think it's a combination of Colt McCoy. I think it's a combination of Colt McCoy because he's always been an average quarterback. But Sam Darnold, goddamn, he keeps turning the ball over. He keeps turning the ball over, putting his damn defense in a tough situation. So I believe this Carolina defense is really a solid defense and a guy that can in a team that can get to the quarterback. Hassan Reddick is very, very good as well. Shaq Thompson had a decent game yesterday, and PJ Walker had this team moving up the field consistently. And they started to use Cam Newton like I thought they were going to do, short yardage situations, goal line situations, and when they need a first down. I think it's going to be a matter of time before he needs to know the playbook. He needs to get acclimated into the playbook. But this Carolina's defense is solid. It's just Sam Darnold turn the ball over and put this defense in a tough situation.
That's a fact. So
free my guy Darnold, bro. Free my guy Darnold. I want to defend him so bad, but he's making it like
hard.
And the thing is like he started struggling when Christian McCaffrey went down, right? Because
Christian McCaffrey is the offense.
Right, if we're gonna be honest, right?
Right, he is the offense.
But then they got him to hold it down. Like if Christian McCaffrey would have ever got injured, the reason they traded for him is because they believed he would be able to hold it down. Like that's really whatever. They wanted to give him the opportunity. And again, I love Sam Darnold. I really do. That's my I hate the New York Jets, but that's my guy. God, it is becoming borderline impossible to continue to defend this guy without looking stupid. Like, I want to defend him, and that whole free Darnold thing. Like, I meant it like a few months ago before he got traded, right? Now it's like, yo, free Carolina. Like, my guy's not helping y'all at all. Like Sam, and I love Sam Darnold, but it's to the point where now he's starting to become the handcuffs around that offense, to the point where, like, even though he's cuffing the offense down, he's now, like, to Coach's point, he's now affecting the freedom of the defense, because now this defense is starting to look, if we're going to be honest, like trash. But it's just because, like Dante said, the coach said, they're in so many short field positions that it's kind of like.
But again,
it's bound to happen.
So what we're not going to do, we're not going to completely trash Darnold. So keep in mind that I think we talked about on the Touchdown Crew the other day, and I think we even talked about it on Friday. Darnold has not, for one, Darnold did not have their go all pro, all yardage back in Christian McCaffrey. They were 3-0 when he had him. He went away. He started throwing to receivers, Moore, Anderson. All his receivers weren't catching the ball, and then it started to fall off from there. So we have to take in consideration that I think, in my opinion, you have to keep that in consideration. He didn't have the same tools, or the tools in which he had wasn't bailing him out, wasn't helping him out, and he was trying to do it on his own. But so much to the fact where we started seeing Darnold become a dual threat quarterback with rushing himself. So we have to take into consideration. Don't put the parameters up and think about what we had. Like, we have to take what was given. What he had, he couldn't make it happen with. But when he had what they have in weapons, they were effective. So I think it's still the jury's still out where they have to take it there.
So you're saying with CMC out there, Sam Darnold is better. So one person makes a quarterback better. Is what you're saying.
In this case,
hold on.
I mean, this is what we have in front of us.
That CMC is their best player, and it's not even close.
Yeah, Hubbard, Chuba Hubbard is no Christian McCaffrey. No. Like, yeah, he can still. He can still. But I'm saying he doesn't bring the same tangibles as Christian McCaffrey does either. Who, besides, like I said, outside Alvin Kamara, what back is catching balls out the backfield effectively and making things happen? I'll wait. Oh wait,
I mean, why did he get benched? Why did he get benched against New York? Why did he get benched against New York? If the coach know that he's trying his all and that the receivers are dropping balls, why does the coach elect to bench him? If it was about the Christian McCaffrey part.
But the thing is, it's easier to bench the quarterback than to bench 3-4 receivers.
Obviously, he's not making great decisions on the field. If you have to get benched, you're not making great decisions on the field. That's what I'm saying. And Hubbard, you're still running the ball effectively. Even though Christian McCaffrey was an all-pro, you're still running the football effectively.
It's not just
like I said, the proof is in the pudding. They were 3-0 when Christian McCaffrey was there.
I could completely understand what Dante is saying, though. I just feel like with
proof is in the pudding. They 3-0 with him there. He went down.
With CMC still out, they still had a bunch of weapons that Sam Darnold could throw to. Just because you had
but how many times?
I'm just saying, change the whole play style now, because now look, Chuba Hubbard, look. He's solid.
They're not going
to be giving him CMC touch.
If the whole play style got to be changed, are we still blaming Sam Darnold? If the whole play style got to be changed, are we still blaming Sam Darnold? You got to look at the coaching. Hold on. You got to look at the coaching.
That's what I'm saying. You got to look at that too. You got to look at that too.
Hold on.
His decision making, that falls on him too.
But in the beginning of my whole soliloquy, I put the responsibility, some of it, on Sam Darnold. That's why Trey chimed in and said in his defense. Because if you really listen to what I said, I kind of was coming hard on him to the point. Look, I'm going to put it to you this way. I'm giving him one more year after this year.
Yeah.
Give him one more year in that offense to get, a little more acclimated. Then I feel like at this point, that next year, we're going to see Darnold for who he is.
I think Darnold
or he's going to get traded again.
Right. And if he gets traded again, at this point, we're gonna. I'm officially gonna hop off. I'm gonna hop off.
Me personally,
You have to. You have to.
Yeah, because you have to give
Now it's Sam Darnold. Now it's not
Sam
no more
Darnold
about the
problem.
team. It's Sam Darnold.
Yes,
It's him.
now it's the yes.
No, so the reason I say he's going to probably get traded again is because at this point you got Cam that's at the helm. So if Cam becomes a productive quarterback for them, but so hold on, listen to what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
If Cam becomes a productive quarterback at this time, why are they going to pay all that money to keep Cam? Because they're going to have to pay him. He only is getting $4.5 million guaranteed, $10 million. Of course, if he hits all his points that which you make, why? So they're going to have to give him a whole nother deal. So why are they going to keep Sam Darnold and Cam Newton on the same roster? They're not.
Because somebody said it. Because somebody said it on Friday. Because of the fact that they don't want the front office don't want the people to feel like they made a mistake for trading for Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Why.
That's a fact.
I don't think that when we talk about that,
especially when you've only given him especially when you've only given Sam Darnold one season. You haven't given him an opportunity to really truly show himself. So you traded for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but injuries dictate differently.
Yeah,
I'm just at a point with Sam Darnold.
You can't throw Sam Darnold to the wolves. And you traded for him, and you've only given him a season to try.
So it wouldn't be throwing Sam Darnold to the wolves. You're giving Sam Darnold up because you probably still believe that he could be an effective quarterback for some other team that's looking to take him, and you get something back for him.
That chance, though, really in Carolina.
But now you have a quarterback potential who has taken you, got you to the playoffs, maybe got you an opportunity with the Super Bowl. Who are you keeping? It's like the same thing with Foles and Wentz in the Philadelphia. Yeah. So it's like, why are you going to keep them both on your roster? Someone got to go.
Me personally, I just think Darnold wasn't NFL ready. He should have stayed for his final year. That's just my personal opinion.
And you can make the argument.
That's just my personal opinion. He should have stayed at USC and got better. And maybe we probably won't be talking about this. But until then,
we're talking about USC. What happened. We talking about USC. Don't
come on, guy.
I mean, if you go,
I mean, I'm not. I was going to throw that out there, Bishop, but I kept it to myself about USC quarterbacks coming into the NFL. I kept.
Let's not.
Bishop started it.
Because that's me. It's like, yes, they have their issues or problem, but some of them have been at the helm of some teams that have been in the playoffs or have done things. So let's not act like a USC quarterback can't get the job done. Let's not act like that.
Palmer was one of them that did get the job done. I'm not going to sit there and lie.
Even before Sanchez started having a bad problem, remember he had the Jets in the playoffs. So let's not act like the USC quarterbacks are effective.
He's talking about
he's always talking
about one thing.
He's always going to be known for butt fumble.
Shout out to the Trojans.
Let me ask a quick question because maybe I'm bugging here, but like I feel like at this point, me and Trevor are on the same side here, right? For what it's worth, right? Like we're gonna give him one more year.
Yeah.
In this same offense,
No, hold on, Prod. That's not what he's saying because if he's saying because Trey's saying
if Cam is effective, I think he's gonna have to go.
Sam's got to go. That's what. Yeah,
because of the money, like, and that's what it is.
Okay, so matter of fact, hold on. So let me.
But he's gonna go somewhere. It's the same thing all over again.
So let me ask that, Greg. Let's say that's a possibility. Let's say it's to the point where they're considering, like, Cam has played decently, enough for them to actually consider it, right? Mm-hmm. Do you consider trading Sam Darnold right after the season's over, or do you wait until like training camp and all that stuff to give him an opportunity to prove, hey, look, I understand he's nice and all, but I made the proper steps to get better.
So basically, a quarterback battle between the two.
Right? Would you have that quarterback battle, or would you just hand Cam Newton the starting job?
No, don't just hand it to Cam.
Oh no, that's what I was saying. I just think that go ahead.
No, I was just saying let Sam Darnold come back next year. If he struggles within those first 4 games next year, bench. In comes Cam.
Hold on, Greg. But wait. Now, say they keep Sam and say they keep Cam.
Okay.
And they do a quarterback battle during training camp. Mm-hmm. Cam wins out, do you get rid of Sam or do you still keep him if Cam wins out and during training camp?
Cam wins out, you get rid of Sam Darnold. Cam wins out, you get rid of Sam Darnold.
And so also take into consideration
too, because if you still got PJ Walker on it, like, is it look?
So what about PJ Walker? So why not
that was going to be my point, Pride, right here. So it all depends on this year too. How good PJ Walker is and Cam Newton is, because if they're so good and this team ends up in the playoffs, you don't Yeah, don't take in consideration they possibility can move on next year. Because Sam Darnold is only on a 1-year deal. He's only on a 1-year deal. He can walk. They can let him go. They can let him go after this year. So again, it just depends on how good PJ Walker is too, and Cam Newton is going to be. You may have a quarterback battle between those two.
That's what I'm
saying. Sam
Darnold
may be the odd man out, and then Sam Darnold already out 6 to 8 weeks, so he's not getting better anytime soon. That's almost a whole season. So if they're playing well, if they're playing well, what do? If they're playing well and they somehow get in the playoffs, now I will look to trade Sam Darnold, or I'll look to let him walk. I'll look to let him walk, and I'll have a quarterback battle between PJ Walker and Cam Newton. That's gonna be that's an obvious.
That's my point. That was my whole point. That was my whole point.
PJ Walker is the only quarterback on his roster that know Matt Rule offense. They played with each other in Temple, so he knows his offense. So PJ Walker could really come in and win this job, but it's Cam Newton. It's the name. NFL usually go off the name of what the quarterback is. It's Cam Newton. At the end of the day, PJ Walker probably won't get that shot. It's sad but true. But I think
and a lot of it's because of experience too. We know Cam Newton, the experience plays a huge part in it as well.
But I mean, sometimes just like Taylor Heineke, you just gotta throw a person into the wolves. I'm just saying.
And see what happens.
Yeah. And see what happens.
And honestly, and Greg, I don't know if you agree with me on this one. Makes that whole Taylor Heineke situation makes Darnold look even worse. Because think about it. Heineke was thrown into the wolves. And in a playoff game against Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. and against an entire Bucks team that was.
We didn't need to know his whole name, bro.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna say it one more time to spite you. His name, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, sit around. Uncle Pry's gonna tell you the name of the greatest quarterback to ever. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. He got a father now. They got the same name. This is where they differentiate. Junior. As I was saying, I'm so rudely interrupted. Greg, maybe we're in the same boat. I think this makes Darnold look even worse because if you think about it, there was way more pressure on Taylor Heineke than there was on Sam Darnold. Heineke's thriving, and it's to the point where it's a legit conversation that next year, Sam Darnold might get traded again, and he'll probably be on his third team in same amount of years?
Yeah, fourth season.
Yeah, so I mean, Greg. So if he gets traded, if Sam Darnold gets traded, at this point, is he just going to be stuck with the label as a backup for life?
Ooh. It's heading to that point. It's definitely headed to that point. I definitely agree with Spotlight. Darnold should have stayed that extra year in college. Mm-hmm. And what we see a lot of times when these
Trey Foreman right now.
I'm he should have stayed extra because what you see a lot of times when these quarterbacks come out a year too early and they get in, you see what's happening with what's his name at the Jets? Zach Wilson.
Exactly.
Zach Wilson. Okay, so they come out a year too early and it doesn't work out because they weren't ready.
Right.
Taylor Heineke worked for him because he was ready.
His junior year wasn't even his best year in USC.
Oh, you talking about Darnold?
It wasn't his best year.
Yeah, he said Darnold. Yeah.
Sam Darnold wasn't his best year. His junior year, he didn't really play well at USC that year.
It's USC.
Honestly, he did okay. I'll be honest. I don't think he did. He didn't do enough. And look, I love Darnold. I don't think he did enough to get drafted. If we're gonna keep it above.
USC.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about if we're just.
I wasn't saying that. See, Trey, I'm trying to keep it devil's advocate here. That's Bishop pushing the button now.
I will drink it. It's okay. I will drink the Kool-Aid. It's cool.
But Trey, you sound like you want to punch me through your monitor for asking these questions because
it's cool because like I said again, like I please be understand like when I say that when you look at it, that's true enough. So my premise behind the situation is basically that they're going to
Mike is a fool, man.
So my first thing how I say this is basically when you look at it, it's only based on if Cam Newton plays good, and then you look at what you had in Sam Darnold. So what happens is there's going to be a decision has to be made because Darnold still has a 1 year that the Carolina Panthers was owe him at $18 million. So with that being said, you have to make a different decision on do we sit up and pick up his contract for the next year, or do we go ahead and say we have to? It has to be a conversation that has to be made. Is it going to be picked up? What's going to happen? He becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2023. So those kind of things take in consideration. But do you keep somebody if depending on how Cam does and what happens at the end of the season? Do you hold on to that? So that's my reasoning for it, all that. When you say you have to look at if they would be willing to keep him, or would you try to get off that contract, pick up the contract, get a contract for Cam, and get some value for Darnold in the long run. That's going to bring back some even weapons or some draft picks or something like that to a team that needs a quarterback. That say at this point he might be seen as still as an above average quarterback or something that someone can work with if they have weapons. That's what I'm basically saying.
So I just want to do a quick yes or no.
Because we do gotta move on.
Yeah, I was about to say quick yes or no. We don't gotta do it. I already got it from Greg. Is he a backupper for life if he gets traded? You say Greg. Greg says yes. Trey, you say no, right?
What? He's a backup for life? No, he's not a backup for life.
I'm talking about if he gets traded this year.
No, he's not a backup.
He's a backup quarterback in his league.
Okay, so spotlight, yes, coach. If he gets traded this year,
I don't see him being
a backup. Well, you're gonna say, yeah, you probably think you're already a backup.
If the only team, no offense, Jonte, but the only team he probably started is the Houston Texans. Sorry.
And trust me, I'd rather drop the quarterback. I'd rather drop the quarterback than have Sam Darnold right now. At this point, I'd rather drop the quarterback. But I think he's a backup. I don't think Sam Darnold is very good. I think you've seen enough of him, enough of Sam Darnold. You've seen. I gave him a pass with the New York Jets. It was a combination between him and the New York Jets. But now, since he did get off to a high start, you lost Christian McCaffrey. That's so. But you supposed to be you pick number 1 overall. So that means you have high expectations. That means they brought you out to revive your career and make this team better. Sam Darnold has not made this team better. Hubbard was still able to run the football effectively, and then his decision making is really not good. And so you don't get benched. You don't get benched if, like I say, if the receivers are really actually not making a play for you. I mean, he's been throwing the ball in coverages and stuff, and try to throw it through tight windows, and then this defense is really good behind him. And if you're turning the ball over, can't keep the ball off the ground or throwing it in coverage, this defense gets up on the field. Yeah. I mean, it's just he's a backup quarterback. I'm speaking what I saw. I think when I saw Sam Darnold, that's just what I saw. I think he's a backup quarterback. I don't think he's a good quarterback.
Real quick. Yeah.
So if he gets traded, he's a backup?
Yeah, he's a backup. He's coming from USC. He has to be a backup.
Oh my God!
I can assure you, if even team like Kansas City was out without Kelsey and Tyreek Hill, he would be Sam Darnold. What Sam Darnold is without CMC and all his quarterback. It can happen to anybody. That's just the point.
Mahomes.
Yeah, no.
Okay, who are you gonna throw to? Who?
Oh,
somebody will.
He has no weapons besides that.
I try to move it on.
It's move on, but I'm saying if you put the same situation on any quarterback, even if some of your best quarterbacks he had, that's just what it is. I mean, I look at it.
He got the weapons.
But
yeah,
you said DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson not weapons?
They wasn't catching the ball.
You said they were DJ Moore.
I can have a Glock here. Hold up for a second. I can have a Glock here, but without bullets, ain't no one catching anything. It's a weapon.
Hold on.
No. I gotta say this, and I'll let you
Let me say something, bro.
Go ahead.
Let me say something. So now they wasn't catching the ball for Sam Darnold, but now they're catching the ball for PJ Walker. I'm just saying.
I just want to say one thing. I just want to say one thing, and Trey, you'll back me up on this. I just think it's funny. Whenever Lamar Jackson has a horrible day, Mark Andrews' hands wasn't that good, and Hollywood Brown got Butterfingers. For Sam Darnold, all of a sudden, Robbie Anderson has the best hands in the history of the NFL, and Moore has never dropped the ball a day in his life. I just think that's hilarious. I think that's comical. do with that information as we will. I'm stopping it right here. Trey, keep it room. Keep it
right, I want to get into this because I said I was a man of my word, and I'm
you trying to kill the clock? Look at him. He trying to kill the clock. Someone to talk about the Raiders. He trying to kill the clock.
I'm not trying to. No. I'm gonna say what I'm going to say. Y'all can say whatever y'all want. I'm gonna say what I'm going to say, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Hats off to the Kansas City Chiefs for playing a great football game. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and butcher y'all. None of that, because my team underperformed. They underperformed because the last couple of games that we did play the Kansas City Chiefs, especially the 2 last year, we was able to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know who the Las Vegas Raiders are. I don't know what the identity is. I don't know nothing right now when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, I'm at a point where we play Cincinnati and then we play Dallas and then I think we play the Chargers again, if I'm not mistaken. We're not winning none of those games. I'm saying it on board right now. We're not winning none of those games. You know why? Because we have an old ass offensive coordinator in Greg Olsen that went back to the John Gruden playbook, back to 1999 to the I formation to make this shit predictable. That's one. Number 2, we're undisciplined on defense where you only have 2 linebackers in the middle of your field and your running backs is catching the ball and getting first downs, and that's 10 yards a play. That's unacceptable. And then you have a defensive line. You get paid millions to watch the ball. You have your best 2 pass rushers false start going defensive offsides at the same time. It is unacceptable for this Las Vegas Raiders team. But this is my problem with the Raider Nation, and I don't care if anybody on the Raider Nation is doing this. You're not going to sit here and blame Derek Carr that only had 10 incompletions, 25 of 35, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, and one bonehead interception and say this game was on Derek Carr. Absolutely not. This defense is trash. Gus Bradley is a trash of a defensive coordinator. Simple as that. There's no way. Nobody accounts for Tyreek Hill. What defense in the NFL that plays against the Kansas City Chiefs that don't account for Tyreek Hill? You gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. And I'm calling the Raiders out. It's no excuse the way we lost this game. It's no excuse how we have a reach of a bum-ass Alex Leatherwood that has the most penalties at the guard position in the NFL, which he was the same way in Alabama, where he was the most penalized tackle in college football. It doesn't make any sense when it comes to this. At this point, Mike Mayock, this is your last year as a GM. Clean fucking house this next year. And if you clean house and we still look the same, you gotta go too. Period.
I agree with Coach Spotlight. I mean, again, Derek Carr did have a bonehead turnover last night, but that was due to the pressure always in the space the whole night long. Derek Carr cannot play defense. Derek Carr cannot teach people how to line up, and he cannot play special teams.
13 yards on a 4th and 10 on a fake punt.
Then also that personal foul kind of hurt a little bit. You can see the referee clearly blew the whistle, and Max Crosby and Ngakoue continue to drag him back and throw him down. And I mean, this defense looked lost all night long.
I don't see nothing in the next 3 games. We're going 0-3 in the next 3 games. We're not beating Cincinnati.
I mean, again,
hold on. We're not beating Cincinnati, and we're not beating Dallas. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I'm making my picks right now. I'm making my picks until you get out of a dime package with 2 linebackers. Do you think Malcolm Gallup, Amari Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb ain't going to cook? You think Ezekiel Elliott? And Tony Pollard ain't going to cook?
I'm not talking about the Cowboys.
Our run defense is ranked 26th in the league.
You're telling me y'all we'll go into this later. However,
I'm sorry.
You out here. You have.
But to your defense, Spotlight.
Real quick, because we have a Chiefs fan here. You feel me? And it would not be fair, because right now Spotlight's cut right now. It would not be fair if we don't throw some alcohol and a little bit of salt on that wound and make it go, So, Greg, the floor is yours. I want you to want you to live your best life, brother.
Yeah, live your best life.
How about those Chiefs?
Yes, sir.
It always feels good to be down on the Raiders. It feels awesome to be down on the Raiders. And remember last year when they came in Arrowhead and won, and they did that little bus tour around Arrowhead.
I didn't like that at all.
They did that little bus tour. And I said they will never win. As long as Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback, they'll never win another game after that bus tour. Who is the Raiders to be doing a bus tour around Arrowhead? They haven't won a playoff game since 2002.
Oh, that's smoke.
2002.
It's not smoke. It's the truth.
No. Give him his moment. Don't try to give him his moment. Go ahead, Greg.
They're doing bus tours, and they haven't done nothing. The Raiders have been bums for the past however long now, 20 years, however long it's been now.
Your organization amounts to being the DeMarcus Russell of the NFL. Go ahead, Greg.
It's everything. We got the Chiefs are back. Patrick Mahomes is back. We back. We figured out how to beat the 2 deep safety defense last night. But NFL better watch out because this is the time. The defense is starting to get it right now.
Hold on, Greg.
They're starting to get it right. The defense has sucked.
Let me say this to Pride. Let me say this to Greg.
Yes.
As a Raiders fan, I agree with everything that he's saying. I'm not defending shit.
No, I know you're not defending it.
We have not did nothing to change this organization.
Here's the thing. I understand you're not defending it. You feel me? But we gotta let him have the opportunity to be great. You feel me?
I'm saying great.
You shaking your head. Don't hate greatness.
No.
I'm your personal attorney today, bro. I got your back.
I appreciate it, Pride. I appreciate it.
Hold on, Pride. Greg, let me ask you this.
Yes.
I know Jay want to say something.
Yes.
But do you really feel, because Patrick Mahomes threw 50 passes last night. 50. Yeah. He was 35 for 50 for 406 yards, 5 touchdowns. Woo. 406 and 5 touchdowns. Do you think? So are you telling me? Are you telling me?
No.
That's some Hall of Fame numbers right there, bro. Are you telling me that Patrick Mahomes has to do this every night, every Sunday, every week? Thursday or Monday to continue. Hold on. To continue for the Kansas City to continue to win.
No,
week in and week out. Is that what you're saying?
And I'm explaining why. And then Greg, obviously, since you're the Chiefs fan, I'm gonna let you have the floor. But I'm just gonna say one thing. Mm-hmm. You're acting as if the score was like you're acting like the score was close.
No, it wasn't. I know it wasn't close.
And that's the point. Like, bro, it was 41-14. If it was 41-40, Bishop, I'm scared. I'm nervous. You should not be bragging about that. You just needed the defense to not be great. You just need them to replicate a little bit of what the Titans are doing. You don't gotta be great, whistle to whistle. You just gotta be opportunistic.
Wait. You're going way too hard on this win. You're going way too hard on this win. Let's be real. Let's pop the bubble. No. There's a lot of helium in the balloon right now. There's a lot of helium. No. Hold on, Pride. I didn't let you go for about 15 minutes on this Kansas City Chiefs trade.
Did I say they could continue to hold people down to 14 points?
That's not the point. That's not the point. You're focused on the wrong things. You're focused on the wrong things. Look, check this out. Check this out. Go ahead. When Josh Jacobs has 16 yards rushing, when Kenyon Drake has 14 yards rushing, when there's defensive penalties in crucial moments, when the momentum switches and then you give up a big play like the punt, the fake punt on 14 yards, when Deshaun Jackson catches the ball and runs the opposite direction on his first week on the team. When your coach gets fired,
can't cover a running back. You got a safety that can't cover a running back.
Look, I'm not done though. I'm not done, Coach. I got you. You when your coach gets fired, when your first round draft pick corner gets cut the week before. I can keep going. Hold on, Pride. Hold on. You're not focusing on what's going on here. We're talking about a team that came in here and performed trash, and it was having trash situations on the way into Kansas City. We're talking about a team that didn't have their bags packed. We're talking about a team that didn't even know what, like Spot said, they don't have a current identity. The fans are focused on the wrong issues.
So
Derek Carr, hold on.
That means the game doesn't count.
Let Jay go. When in the first 4 weeks of the NFL, we're talking about Derek Carr possibly being MVP. Okay, We're talking about John Gruden. We're talking about Henry Ruggs. We're talking about all these guys going off, and Derek Carr possibly being by 4 weeks MVP of the league. Then you lose Henry Ruggs. You cut your corner in Arnett. You lose John Gruden. You know what I'm saying? I can go on and on with this. Then you go and sign Deshaun Jackson, who just got cut. He comes in, and this receiving core is not the same unit that it was. They don't even know who's the identity. They don't know who's supposed to be on the outside. Where's Renfro supposed to be? Renfro has to be in the slot to be successful to utilize him the way he is, but we really can't have him in the slot right now. We need him somewhere else. So there's a lot of other things. Hats off to the Chiefs. They played a wonderful game. But next week, we're going to see the normal Kansas City Chiefs again. Let's not blow this up. Let's not blow this up.
Hold on. What that mean?
I'm gonna tell you, Greg. Because here's the thing that we saw.
That's what it is, though.
We're not gonna fix.
You can't give them that excuse because by that
we're not gonna. It's not an excuse. We're not gonna fix the offensive line overnight. We're not going to fix the offensive line overnight. The Kansas City Chiefs offensive line has been horrible all season.
Right, and
they had a good game.
They're trending in the right direction.
No, they had a good game against a team that is horrible right now.
Say that part.
They had a good game against a team that is horrible right now. Okay,
Bishop, are they trending in the right direction?
I wouldn't say they're trending in the right direction because of just like Jay said, they're a team that's still trying to figure out a lot of things that's going on within their organization.
This is hilarious.
Listen. Hold on, Roger. Let me finish.
This entire team.
Let him go.
But listen, I feel where you're going with it. You saying it's not. I'm not making excuses for it, but you have to keep in consideration. It is a factor. It is a factor, and like Jay said, next week when they face the Cowboys, when they have a high-powered offense that's about to come, it's going to show for true faith. It's going to show truly what the Kansas City Chiefs have, because we know the Cowboys has a high-powered offense. We're going to see next weekend what the Chiefs really have.
Can we break down their 5 wins, Bishop? Can we break down the Kansas City Chiefs 5 wins?
And that's what I was about to go to.
Hold on. They got the Raiders. I got it right here.
Hear me out. They beat the Browns 33-29. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Ravens 36-35. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Chargers 30-24. They beat the Eagles 42-30. Mm-hmm. They lost to the Bills 38-20. Uh-huh. They beat Washington 31-13. The Titans beat them 27-3.
You're not giving it enough justice. Hold on. Let's get it right. Let's get it right. Hold on. I'm gonna give you the highlights. We're talking about the Raiders. We just talked about the debacle that they had coming into this. Packers did not have Aaron Rodgers. Then you go to Washington. Washington is Washington. Then we go to the Eagles. The Eagles are the Eagles. Same NFC East situation. And then you got the Browns the first week. That's the only game I'll give you guys. After that, you lost to the Ravens, playoff contenders. You lost to the Chargers, playoff contenders. Lost to the Bills, playoff contenders. Lost to the Titans, playoff contenders. When you guys come and win a game, then we'll talk about trends.
Again, you're moving the goalpost because no,
I'm not. When you talk about trending in the right direction, beat somebody that matters.
Before this.
No, they're not trending in the right direction. They beat a bad team.
So before this, but to sit here and pretend that this is not
the Chiefs are good.
So they're on the path right now. It's their defense to not be great.
Their last win.
So
let's keep it. Hold on. I just want to make
sure we understand, Greg. We're not saying the Chiefs is a bad team.
What
we're saying is they right now they have up to this point they haven't beat a good caliber team.
They would have beat Baltimore if Edwards-Helaire can hold on.
So again, listen. So we make it
even though that the Kansas City Chiefs are 5-4, so is the Raiders. So is the Chargers.
So
and the Broncos is 5-5. So anybody can take this division. The Chiefs is just not going to clearly take the division. We're not going to say that. We're not.
So for the sake of the conversation, what he's saying is that if I'm right, is at this point they are trending in the right direction. Hence the reason, because they got 2 wins. They have streamed of them 2 wins in a row. That's any step forward is a good step for positivity. So they got 2 wins in a process. So yes, they are trending in the right direction. But like he was saying, they caught the Packers when they didn't have an Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? The Raiders are
Trey. Hold on, Trey. But hold on. So you mean to tell me, and just this is hypothetical. So you mean to tell me if the Chiefs beat the Detroit Lions and beat the Houston Rockets, they're trending in the right direction?
Yeah, you might as well call the Rockets. You was right. The Houston Rockets. I don't know who the Texans is.
I mean, Houston, Texans. No.
So yeah, that's trending because you're moving positive. You're moving straight forward. Which the goal is to win games. If you win 2 games in a row, whoever, hell, I would even say that the Lions are trending in the right direction because they walked away out of a loss. So it's like anything positive, anything that's positive that inflects positivity in this situation, they're trending. They got 2. They strong 2.
And I agree with that notion. And I agree with that notion. Hold on, I agree with that notion. But what I'm saying is, don't inflate the balloon.
Oh yeah,
true.
I'm not saying that all of a sudden they're the Chiefs of old, and all of a sudden the division now belongs. I'm not going that far.
But let's be real. They did have a good performance in the offensive line, but that's been their weak point all year. And let's be honest, we pointed out some major issues on the defensive line in that game yesterday. And so let's not smash the 2 in between and just call it a casserole. You know what I mean? Let's be real about the situation. The Chiefs, I'll give you guys had a good offensive line game yesterday. But at the same time, on the flip side, we pointed out that the defensive line yesterday struggled. And there was multiple instances that we can point out. So we have to take apples and apples and oranges in this situation.
And like in other words, what Jay's saying, like in other words, it ain't like the defensive line, like the Kansas City Chiefs ran the ball phenomenally against the defensive line of the Raiders. They didn't.
They had more time back there. They did. But that was also, we saw the struggles of the defensive line getting to it.
Where you have a Gus Bradley as a defensive coordinator that's last in the league and blitzing in 14%.
Trey, you understand what I'm saying, right, Trey?
I'm just saying.
That's all that matters.
No, and like I said, Greg, I'll give you this. Greg, I'll give you this.
You guys are talking something completely different. All I'm saying is they're moving in the right direction. That's it. I'm not saying they're what they were last year. I'm not saying that the division is just theirs. I'm not saying, watch out for the Chiefs. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is
they're moving in the right direction, but
moving in the right direction.
Next week.
And all of a sudden you say that. Now all of a sudden, I'm saying they're the best team in the
They
AFC.
got the Cowboys. They got the Cowboys in 2 weeks.
The biggest challenge of the season is the Dallas Cowboys as of right now.
Correct. We got the Cowboys in 2 weeks.
They can't put up 21 points against the Dallas Cowboys. Then what do we say about the Kansas City Chiefs?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But I'll say this: we play Dallas this coming Sunday.
No, next Sunday.
Beat the Dallas. Oh yeah, we will beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Y'all what?
We will. We will beat the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know. The way Dallas looked even though it was the Atlanta Falcons, they still an NFL football team at the end of the day.
No, but again, spotlights. But again, we will not give Dallas that much credit either. If we're gonna do that,
if we're gonna do the Kansas City, thank you. We'll see, because Dallas has had the same struggles. Yep. Dallas has had the same up and down struggles as Kansas City. They have the same high-powered offense like Kansas City and not been able to perform the same way. And this is going to be a good game for both of you guys at the midway point in where you guys are trending. Are you guys really trending in the right direction? Was that a fluke against a bad defense last week, or were you guys really moving forward? And remember, this is the other thing you got to keep in mind. We're talking about Andy Reid. Okay, and we're talking about a coach that's interning right now. Okay, so when we do this and we're talking about chess, Andy Reid's the best chess player in the NFL besides Belichick. Okay, right. So keep in mind, and Andy Reid game plans for the Raiders. I don't care what nobody says. He game planned for the Raiders 2 years in advance. So you know what I mean? Like he's ready to go. So keep in mind, that's a divisional game. As much as I want to put that that extra oomph on it, we can't go that far yet. Next week is your guys' test. Next week, y'all come out, y'all beat Dallas. I'm gonna sit here and shut up.
But not only that, Jay, I'm gonna say this. Remember 2 weeks ago when everybody was riding a high on Dallas too, until they got punched in the mouth by Denver. See, when they said it was a defense that Dallas hadn't seen a defense that could do something like that to them yet. They got punched in it. They almost got shut out. It almost got shut out by the Denver Broncos. So this is the same thing with the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a Raiders team who has a lot of things going on with them right now.
And matchup wise, Bishop,
and
matchup wise, Bishop, matchup wise, they got a good secondary. Kansas City got a good secondary, and the Raiders' running game is obsolete right now. So if you're forcing
all year,
none,
yes.
They don't have.
And so if you're forcing me to pass the ball and into a defense that's a great secondary, we're gonna have issues. Period.
Yep. Especially when you taking out Darren Waller when you doubling him all night, and Tyrann Mathieu played great coverage on Darren Waller. I mean, Darren Waller was shut absolutely down, and they were literally making Derek Carr throw to somebody else, and then like Brian Edwards had a subpar game, but where was everybody else? What was everybody else last night? Besides the Hunter Westbrook throw. I mean, yeah. And then the defense, the penalties, the undisciplined. You had two outside penalties in a row. And then you had back you go back to the possessions before that.
Penalties for 68 yards not gonna win you a game.
And you had a personal foul penalty, something that was unnecessary. And then you had a fake punt. You had a fake punt when you normally have two people on that guy. Instead, you had one. The guy studied. He does a stop route all of a sudden, and it was a perfect ball come. You got Tyreek Hill getting open all night long, all day long. So again, it comes down to coach. When you having penalties, when you're having outside penalties, when you're having personal foul penalties, that is on coach. Fourth down, that is on coaching right there. Those penalties are coaching.
And
that's chess and checkers.
I really hope the Raider Nation is watching this. Stop blaming Derek Carr for all the losses.
Yes.
Leave him alone.
Yes.
Who you gonna get?
And I ridicule him. I ridicule him the way he played against the Giants. But this game against Kansas City, you cannot put it on it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because when we was down in the first half, we came out in the second half. We went up the field and we scored. What the defense do when we were down 3? They let them go up the fucking field and shit the bed. Sorry for my language, I know.
Nah, you good, coach.
Like that, but we ish the bed with this defense. At the end of the day, we're not gonna keep saying, "Oh, Derek Carr didn't do this. Derek Carr didn't do that. Derek Carr don't play."
Where's Josh Jacobs? Where's Kenny and Drake?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And then here's the other thing too.
Kenyon Drake is a pass catching running back. Why we're not throwing to him? Why we're not doing it?
That's another issue.
Yeah.
And but here's another thing, Greg, and this is coming from a Cardinal fan and having Tyrann in the backfield with us back there in that secondary. When you have this was what made him good with us too. But when you were able to not worry about the running game and you could rush 4, that makes Tyrann so capable of being back there and running around doing whatever the hell he wants to do.
Yes.
And that's where Tyrann is good. Those are the skill sets that separated him from any other safety in the league when he was with us. So it was just the right setup, the right game for you guys coming off of, like I said, the Green Bay the Aaron Rodgers-less Green Bay Packers win. You come into this one and you got another situation. So yeah, in that aspect, you guys are trending in the right direction. But let's not again blow too much helium into the situation, because we got a real game coming up, and they don't have injuries, and they don't have anybody on the COVID.
One of the best offensive lines in football.
They have, and so we're gonna go in and we're gonna see where you guys are mano a mano. And that next week, when we come on here on Monday, it'll be a whole different conversation.
I'm just at a point with the Raiders. We're not winning the next 2 games. We're not.
You guys in the Broncos. You guys are gonna be looking at the Broncos here in a minute if they don't switch it up.
And one more thing, I agree with Jay about Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu, when you got a guy that can go blitz the quarterback and cover a tight end like that, and shut him straight down like that play that he tried to throw to Darren Waller, and he hits the ball. He may grab him a little bit, but that's iffy. But like, he hits the ball. I mean, I like guys that take on responsibility like that, and that's a leader. That is a guy that wants to win, and he took on that assignment. Hey, I got Darren Waller. Let me guard Darren Waller. Let me take him out the game because I know that's who Derek Carr wants to first option, and he wants to throw to Darren Waller. He took him out the game, and after that, the offensive line imploded, but the defense definitely self-destruct last night, though. So this game, I'm not putting this game all on Derek Carr. You put some responsibility on him because it's a team thing, but this defense self-destruct badly last night.
The NFL, the way
we shot ourselves in the brain last night.
The way the NFL uses the tight ends nowadays, it puts so much more emphasis on a safety and how good they are if they're able to guard a tight end. And before, if you were a ball hawk or you hit hard, you're set in stone. Nowadays, you gotta have that extra element of being able to guard a 6'6" guy that's out there catching the ball coming off that line. So I really tip my hats off to these safeties out here nowadays, running with the guys like Waller, running with the guys like Kelsey, running with the guys like Kittle. You know what I mean?
Or Mark Andrews and all those guys.
Or Mark Andrews. And say in the tight end, man, the tight end element of the league has grown so much over the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. You back then we were running with Vernon Davis as our elite tight ends. Now you got TJ Hawkinson, you got the other guys I just named, and Fontua even coming in. So there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, and Tyrann Mathieu was awesome against Waller.
Yes, it was.
He was awesome, and I'll give credit to Spags. Spags finally came up with a good defensive game plan. I talked a lot of crap about Spags when the defense was struggling. It was everything went good.
They played a good game.
Everything went good.
They outcoached us. They wanted it more. The Raiders didn't want it. It's just that now with everything going on this season, it's like we're freaking just bending over, just letting everybody beat us. Like it's just what it is. As a Raiders fan, I'm sorry, but like Cincinnati's gonna blow.
Did y'all see that? Did anybody see that?
No, I don't know nothing about that.
Oh,
I haven't heard nothing about that.
Yeah, I seen it,
man. So you seen it too, Trey?
I was gonna go into the NBA games too. I was gonna go into the NBA games next. I don't know nothing about that.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
It was bad.
I didn't know that either.
So we could definitely move on into the NBA slates. We had a few games. It looked like we had about 7 games last night where we had the Los Angeles Lakers beat the San Antonio Spurs 114-106, and then you have the Atlanta Hawks beating the Milwaukee Bucks 120-100. You have the Charlotte Hornets upsetting the Golden State Warriors 106-102, and then you have the Phoenix Suns beating the Houston Rockets 115-89. You have the Brooklyn Nets beating the Thunder 120-96. Then you have the Nuggets 124 beating, of course, the Portland Trailblazers 124-95. And then you have the Chicago Bulls beating the Los Angeles Clippers 100-90. So that was the slate there, and it's a lot of games going on Monday night as well. But that Sunday slate, what games stood out to y'all? What games really stood out to y'all in that Sunday slate?
Big Time Bridges. That's his nickname now, man. Big Time Bridges, carrying the Hornets and taking that W in Golden State, over Golden State. Bridges has really stepped up. Both him and his brother this year. His brother's over here in Phoenix, he over there in Charlotte, and both of them this year are turning into some mammals, man.
Facts.
I think for me it was the Hawks over the Bucks, man. 120-100. I mean, that's a big win for the Hawks, man. And it just tells you about how Trae Young, man, that boy, man, is the real deal, man. Trae Young is the real deal, and a lot of people.
In 32 minutes, he had 42 points, 10 assists, and 8 boards.
He was 2 boards away from a triple double, bro. Two boards.
120 on them Bucks is a big feat in itself.
That
to take it with the W and beat them by 20 is big.
Say that, Say that.
I mean, don't blow it up because they haven't been looking good all season.
They haven't.
Who?
The Bucks.
The Hawks. They've been looking horrible.
The Bucks haven't looked.
I think the Hawks. I'm sorry. Get back on track after this win.
I'm talking about
Atlanta. But
Little Amanuko
doing like 15 minutes a game. That's a problem. Brook Lopez is still out. So I think when Brook Lopez comes back and they start rubbing elbows again, they're gonna start crushing people again.
So that's my pick of the. games.
I agree with Jay. I mean, the Hornets, that's a good young basketball team, man. Bridges, Terry Rozier, happy for him. He got out of Boston. Now he's a 20-point per game scorer. LaMelo Ball continued to be good. Again, you got Kelly Oubre, who's underrated, very underrated defender, very underrated scorer, very underrated shooter. You got some guys, and you got one of the Martin twins who I watched in college from Nevada. You got that guy. This nice. Team is very good. Yes, this team is very good, man. Very good young team, dude. And I'm impressed with this Charlotte team, man. Like I said, I got them as a play-in between a 7th and a play-in game. This Charlotte team is really, really good. Get them a couple more years.
I can see them not being in the play-in. I can see the Hornets actually in the play-in.
I mean, the bottom of the
East.
That's why I said 7. Yeah. That's why I said 7. The bottom of the East is kind of iffy. The top of the East, you kind of it's kind of easy to find out 1 through 5. But the bottom of the East is kind of iffy. But this Charlotte team is very, very, very good, man. And that coach James Borrego is good. Yeah, 5 to 10 is gonna be really close. Right down there. Yeah, but Charlotte is a very good young team.
Does Charlotte try to move on from Hayward? I think they can benefit from having a better forward down there.
No, because at this
point, I think they could.
You need a vet, kind of just to because you still a lot of your pieces are young. And they're still kind of developing, so it's not like they're in a position where they have to win now. And Gordon Hayward's holding them back. And they need to get rid of him. So I think you can kind of keep him just so he can kind of start, especially going to LaMelo Ball and teaching him a little bit more about shot selection. You know what I mean?
But I mean, him and Anthony Davis kind of exchanged street clothes.
Yeah. So I mean, look. I get it, but the difference with Gordon Hayward is just the fact that you have him there, but if he misses games, you're not really tripping. AD is a pivotal part of the Lakers. So if he is street code, that's a problem. You know what I mean? So I don't think you get rid of him. I mean, obviously, if a deal comes on the table, you cannot refuse. I mean, I'm not saying keep him at all costs. If there's a deal, of course, go ahead. But I wouldn't look to trade him because you do need that vet to help on the court. But you're in on the sideline, mature these kids, so that way, when they're ready, they can hit the ground running. So in terms of trading him, I wouldn't. But like I said, if there's a deal you can't say no to, go ahead and take it. I wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't be mad either. I just think Gordon Hayward is just starting off slow with this offensive firepower for the Hornets. But I think you still should keep him just for the veteran sake of it. He's been to playoffs. He's won big games when he was healthy before he got hurt. So I think having him on the Hornets, even though he's not putting up the numbers that we expected, like what he did last year, but he would definitely help out this young basketball team because there's no real true veterans on this basketball team at this moment. So he can definitely learn from LaMelo Ball. Really can learn from him, especially moving without the basketball and not just having the ball in your hands all the time.
Yeah, Mason Plumlee is like your lead vet outside of Gordon.
Yeah, and it's Mason Plumlee we're talking about.
Right.
So it's Mason Plumlee we're talking about.
They're more likely to listen to Gordon Hayward than they are.
Yeah, Mason Plumlee. Fact.
You know what I mean? So.
Hey, Trey, do you want to explain yourself this weekend? Do you want to explain yourself?
Yeah, I mean, this is what's going to happen with Lakers fans.
Of course not. Of course not.
You want to explain about the Lakers? That's what's about that thrashing, about that thrashing against Minnesota. You want to explain that, or you want to talk about the Spurs?
Yeah, that 107-83 loss y'all took on
it was loss. It was lost. I mean, look at it. Look at it. For me, I was speaking for me.
Freddie? Where's Freddie at?
For me, when I speak,
right? I want him spotlight. I want him.
For me,
all over the screen when they win.
I'm going to talk about the Lakers when they win. I talk about when they lose. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't. As long as they get into the playoffs and they're able to sit up and take care of business, like the regular season is what it is. It's a seeding. It's a fact for seeding. After the seed is handled in the year end, then it's time to go to work. So this is at this point, we just need to be in the top 8 in order to have our opportunity. That's how I look at it. Regardless,
hey, that's the real way to look at it too, because you got to remember, man, we're talking about the the lunch special senior discount group. So and I say that respectfully as possible, but these guys are older, man, and everybody's over here, and including myself. I didn't been in the battle, in the conversation as well here and there. But the Lakers ain't even playing with LeBron right now. We're talking about a team that got probably close to 6 new guys in the lineup. So when we talk about, I was just talking about Kansas City, about them and their offensive line having a whole new offensive cast. So you flip and look at LA, they're dealing with the same thing. Ellington just came back. THC just came back. Then you got LeBron's still out. I mean, once this team gets going, they will be a problem.
And on top of that,
be a problem.
And I'm pretty sure someone already said it, but if we also look at it, like, it's not like, they just need to be in the 6th spot. That's it. Stay out of the play-in and they're fine. You know what I mean? As long as between 6 and 1, they don't really, you know what I mean? That's kind of how the Lakers fans, and Trey, I think
no one wants to be in the play-in. I don't care who you are. No one wants to be in the play-in because now you have that added pressure of, if I lose this game, I'm done. Or I have to sit so that at this point, like, I'm easy. Like, okay, like you just said, THC came back 17 points. You know what I'm saying? That's something that we needed.
And his defense was more exciting to me than his actual 17 points.
So, Greg, I know you have to run out, but definitely thank you for coming on to the show. Can't wait to see you more on ASAP in the morning. I know you got to record an interview for your podcast and stuff of that nature. But any final words you want to say? I know I'm a Raiders fan, so definitely just rub it in our face. Just go ahead and do it, man. Just do what you got to do before you head out.
Spotlight, the Raiders are still bums, man. They still the bums. They still the bums, man. And the Chiefs is coming. They coming. And I appreciate y'all letting me come on with y'all, man. I definitely had an awesome time. And
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We'll chop it up.
And Greg,
yes.
Before you exit, let all the viewers know where they can find your podcast at as well.
Yep.
The G Report podcast is a sports podcast that I do on Facebook. So y'all just go to Facebook page, like the page, follow the page. All the episodes of my shows will be on there. So yeah.
Shout out to the G Report, because I think your wife inboxed me talking about your podcast. So I definitely did like your page. So I definitely, when you said the G Report, I was like, oh, that it just rung a bell.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, man. My wife, hooked it up for me. So yeah. So
that's what's up.
Appreciate that, brother.
G Report. Like it.
Make sure y'all go like his page, the G Report, on Facebook, y'all. Make sure y'all go like that.
All right, y'all. I'll see y'all.
Peace. All right, appreciate you, Greg. Have a good one, man.
All right, you too.
All right, now, so we got a lot of slates on this NBA for Monday night. We have the Boston Celtics going to the 9-5 Cleveland Cavaliers. We have the Kings versus Pistons, Pelicans, Wizards, Magic, Hawks, Pacers, Knicks, Nuggets, Mavericks, Rockets, Grizzlies, Suns, Timberwolves, Heat, Thunder, Raptors, Trailblazers, Bulls, Lakers. Any thoughts of any of these games tonight?
Well, we do know the Bulls game and the Lakers game is definitely going to be a good game. That's going to definitely be a game to watch tonight. In regards to that Suns and that Timberwolves game is going to be a pretty good one too.
Yeah, you don't really underestimate the Timberwolves like that. I mean, Timberwolves are okay, but they ain't great. They all right.
I mean, Denver, and the Mavs. That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be something to see. Luka versus Monte Morris and Jokic in the paint versus Porzingis.
Michael Porter's out tonight.
Yeah, Michael Porter's out, but Denver still has been playing good basketball. Once they get Michael Porter back, and depends on when they get Jamal Murray back, Denver can make a case. You can make an argument for Denver in the Western Conference. So that's game gonna be
any upset wins tonight. Any upset wins tonight?
Well, Lakers over the Bulls.
Upset wins.
I mean, I get why you saying that.
That's not an upset.
It's really
So I'm calling.
You know Trey was going to say that.
It is an upset. The Lakers are 9-4. The Bulls are 9-4.
But y'all playing in LA. Y'all supposed to win.
That's an upset.
That's not an upset.
You guys are underachieving. You guys are underachieving. That's not an upset.
Y'all both quality teams. Y'all both are good. Still,
you guys are underachieving.
I guarantee there's an underdog in there, regardless of how good the team. Someone has to be the underdog. Someone has to be. So again, the Lakers. The Lakers are the underdog. No, the Lakers are the underdog.
No.
Okay.
The Bulls
as of right now, I think I got one. Chicago is a 1-point favorite.
Underdog. I think I'm gonna have an upset. I got Miami losing to OKC tonight.
Man, Coach, you taking everything I'm about to say. I got that pulled up right now. That's my upset too. I was trying to get it in, but everybody was talking about these damn Lakers still.
Hey, you know I'm good with them upsets.
Yeah, no, that's
Ask Bishop. Ask Bishop. You know I'm good with.
But the reason I picked this one, go ahead, Spot.
No, go ahead. You good.
Go ahead, Spot. Oh, my fault. My upset is, like you said, OKC Miami. And the reason why I picked that is because we got Morris and Oladipo still out. But Butler and Abadal are still listed as day-to-day. If either one of them are out, I really think OKC has a really good chance of winning. And then if they do the minutes limiting on either one of them as well, OKC is that one of those teams, man. Any given night, they got that spark and they could take over.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm gonna go off the limb here because you just never know with the NBA, because the NBA, anybody can lose on any given night. But I'm gonna take the T-Wolves over the Suns to be an upset pick. That's more of an upset pick than a lot of these games. You just never know. Mind you, the Suns is on the road. Timberwolves has beaten a good Lakers team. They got some confidence going into this game, so I got the Timberwolves as an upset pick for this slate. And then
I got an even better one for you.
What was that?
I think the Rockets going to beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Don't make Dante smile now. Don't make Dante smile now.
In Memphis?
In Memphis, yeah.
In Memphis, yeah.
I think Grizzlies are expecting this is going to be a cakewalk for them. They ain't got to worry about anything, and Jalen Green and them are going to catch them slipping, punch them in the mouth.
That talk, Trey. Oh my God.
I hear you.
That means you bettors out there.
That's upset pick.
That means you bettors out there better take that spread. It's 11-point spread, boy. You better take that spread.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's easy money. I think that's easy.
You better take that spread. You listen. If y'all don't take that for something wrong with y'all. Right. I don't even know. I might for real. The way Trey just said it, I might stay away from the damn game. I don't know. I might stay away from that tonight.
I'm taking that Miami spread too. They had 9. I'm telling you, them
I might take the Miami spread.
That's a lot.
That is 9. What else? What other spreads they have? Well, the Magic and Hawks is a 10.5 favorite. That's basically. And I'm not touching Bulls Lakers. I don't know why Portland is a 1.5 favorite against the Raptors. I don't know why is that, but okay.
Really?
Yeah, it's a 1.5 favorite.
I'm taking that. They got Dallas as a 4.5 favorite over Denver.
Yeah. Which kind of surprised me, but at the same time not, because with like the injuries and whatnot. So I do kind of get that one.
That's a loss. That's a loss by Portland. That's a loss.
So I was waiting for it. I was like, Cote taking that play.
Who's gonna be against that Portland team?
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm with you. Yeah, that's
that organization is a joke. They just a joke of an organization. That's all.
You see, that's your Sam Darnold. What is going on with you today, bro?
Dante is very disappointed in the Portland Trailblazers, so he's going to stick by what he says. It's just a horrible franchise.
I wanted to hop on the same.
Coach, relax, Coach.
Hey, what you got to say, brother?
One, we're facing the Mavs tonight, which after the way how the last game ended, us beating the Dallas Mavericks by like 30 plus points, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to kick our butts tonight. I think that's the opposite's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nate. I do remember that game. Y'all blew them out, and Luka was pissed the whole fourth quarter. Luka was mad the whole fourth quarter. So I agree. Luka might come out and put up one of his 35-point triple doubles tonight.
And then the second one, my upset pick of tonight, I already mentioned in the comments.
What is it?
Cavs over Celtics.
See, and you know what? I'm not even upset with you on that.
Yeah, but is that an upset pick though?
Yeah,
right now the Cavs have a better record than the Boston Celtics right now.
But there's no Sexton. They just lost Sexton.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like in Boston, again, just like I was saying earlier to Trey about LA, Boston's underachieving. So don't fault Boston. Don't fault for Boston's underachievement. They still supposed to beat them. They are still supposed to beat the Cavs.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm talking to Damian.
Oh, don't worry about Damian.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
Trailblazers equal the Texans. No, he got the point though. Where are we at with it? Come on. What have the Trailblazers done as an organization to really help Dame? We've talked about this before, guys.
Numerous times.
Made any moves? They haven't done anything to get away from what's been wrong. And doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, is the definition of insanity. So I don't know. The Portland might be the same as Houston, bro.
Facts.
But there you have it, guys. There you have
it.
Hey,
we ain't gonna talk about tonight's game. We ain't finna leave Trey off like that. Cause he's so happy.
Oh, damn, we did gotta talk about tonight's Monday night game.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Rams.
Trey was so cool.
Nah, Trey, stop trying to talk. Good job,
Trey.
Good job,
It's cool because we were talking about it tomorrow, so I'm cool.
Be quiet and let Trey talk his talk and make his prediction for Monday Night Football.
That's how I feel is not like the realtor to me says the Rams are going to walk away, but we got to look at how the NFL has gone up to this day. The last 2 weeks has been chock full of upsets, and teams that we thought wasn't going to win or shouldn't have lost have lost. So I'm willing to sit up and I'm willing to say that my 49ers have a possibility of winning. But if I was a betting man, of course I'll go with the Rams. But I'm still rocking with the Bay. So. It is what it is.
I'm right behind you. Ghost riding the whip. I'm hoping that you guys beat the Rams this week because boy, us Cardinals need it, man. We didn't beat y'all twice, so y'all can do whatever the heck y'all want now.
So I was gonna let it solid. I'm good. I was gonna let it marinate. Tomorrow we definitely would have had the conversation. So I was cool with it going.
But who did you pick, Joe Trey? Who'd you say?
I went with the 49ers. How's that?
Okay, I just wanted to hear it. I made sure.
No,
he
got a good point.
He's such a troll. He's an underrated troll.
I want to make sure it's coming through clear because I'm definitely taking the Rams. Definitely.
Hey, I'm right. Like I said, I'm riding with Trey.
Of course, Jay is going to ride with Trey because he's a Cardinals fan. They're on the same division. If this was a different team and it wasn't
it's just like Bishop with his OU bias. Yeah, that's expected.
Hey, no.
I understand.
No. You didn't put my educational background to the why I'm going with the Niners. All right. Trey made a good point to it. Anytime this season, anyone has said, "Oh, that's a lock." The opposite happened. Any game this season we picked and said that's a lock. The opposite has happened. So tonight on Monday Night Football, the opposite's happening. Jimmy Garoppolo gonna run one in. Look, Jimmy Garoppolo gonna run one in. He gonna throw for two. Yes, I'm telling you. He's gonna run for one and throw for two.
I can see him throwing for two, but rushing one, I don't.
Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo rushing a touchdown today. Yep. He gonna dive in like a silver bullet.
The question is Trey Lance suiting up tonight too?
I hope. He's not on the list. He's not on the out list.
So that might be something the Rams got to look forward to.
He's not listed.
I'm looking forward to this game because
they might split the snaps with Garoppolo and Trey.
I want to see if because is OBJ gonna play?
Yeah,
OBJ is playing tonight.
He's playing.
He has to because with what's going down.
Him and Von Miller playing tonight.
But look, if Lance suits up, we're gonna have one rushing touchdown apiece, and Jimmy's throwing for one. Mark my words.
I can see Trey Lance getting a rushing touchdown before Jimmy Garoppolo.
They both gonna get.
Definitely that.
They both gonna get.
I don't see Jimmy Garoppolo getting a rushing.
If he suits up, they're both getting a rushing touchdown, and Jimmy's throwing for one. Promise.
But you ain't giving Trey Lance a throwing touchdown.
Nope.
I mean, it's possible the way this NFL year has been going with these upsets and these good teams is not living up to their expectations.
Potential, yep.
Yes. So
in the game, I call the score 21-20.
Woo.
My final score, I have 27-24 Rams.
I have 30-24 Rams.
I have 35
Rams.
I have 35-14 Rams.
God,
what'd you say, bro?
He got them walking all over.
35-14
I think we're gonna score 14 points. I don't know about that one.
What'd you say, Craig?
30. What I say? Crack is hard. Don't do math, kids.
Oh,
it takes a. I'm sorry. 30-21. My bad.
Who?
And Trey, where you at with it?
24-27.
All right.
There it is.
21-20, baby.
Did Oklahoma score 14 points Saturday?
Come on. Wow.
Daddy. Hey, before we skedaddle, real quick, a true OU question. Is Spencer that bad? Or was it just his attitude?
No, it's his attitude. 100%
It's his attitude, but he's not that bad. I'm gonna say this one thing because I know we short on time. I'm gonna say just like everybody been saying, spotlight Dante, even Greg before he left, and even Trey. Spencer Rattler he's not ready. He's not ready. He needs some more tutoring by Lincoln.
That's all right. We got him. Y'all
can have him. I mean, he's gonna shine over in that. He's gonna shine over in that conference. He's gonna shine over there. It's whack. It's so whack over there. He's gonna shine. He's gonna shine over there.
We got
By
the time he leaves that conference, he's probably gonna get back into the Heisman race.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, real quick. Before we leave, right quick, I wanted to ask you a question earlier, Bishop, that you had. Actually, in this year alone, the Pac-12 has beat has won 3 games against the SEC.
And my boy Jaden Daniels.
Hold on.
My boy Jaden Daniels out there looking nice, man.
Can we agree to say this is the weakest the SEC has ever been in a while?
Yes.
Oh, that's what we're going with.
Hey, but you want to know what's messed up about that?
You can close it out, spotlight on that.
But you want to know what's messed up about that? The SEC is probably the most even it's ever been.
Spotlight, what you about to say to Bishop?
Dante is messing with you because he likes Texas. That's in the same conference. So he's gonna keep bullying you about this upset because he's a Texas fan.
Man, I think Steve Sarkisian should be fucking fired after this season. He should be fired after this season. Texas is a goddamn mess, and they're a damn joke of a college. He should at the end of the season, Steve Sarkisian should be fucking fired after this season. That was an embarrassing loss by Kansas.
Hey, Coach.
You should have been. Steve Sarkisian should have been fired on the fucking field after that performance Saturday.
Jay, what did you
now
do?
You got transfers all over the place. Steve Sarkisian needs to be fired after this season. He's a fucking joke of a head coach.
Just send him over there to Trey's conference. Just go.
Jay, I can't with you.
He came from the USC.
I wasn't expecting you to do that, Jay.
Oh, that's why he's such. That's why.
No, that's not. Let's keep it 100.
That's why he
when he was with the only reason he left USC is because he had a alcohol substance abuse problem. That's the only reason. When he was at USC, he was making all right for himself. So I mean, it's just what it is. He went to Alabama, left Alabama, and then he ended up at Texas. So he.
Yo, Coach, I couldn't hear you. He needs to get what? I don't know. Do you think he should be extended in his contract? Like
he needs to be fucking fired. Versus
it's just at home. No, I didn't know.
At home.
You started that shit, Pride. You started that.
Steve Sarkisian needs to be fired. He needs to go back to USC or go back to Alabama, wherever the hell he came from. He's definitely not the man for this goddamn job. That was embarrassing on Saturday to get beat by Kansas, to get blown out and embarrassed at home.
Y'all other two coaches wasn't too good either. So who is?
Hey,
Jesus Christ!
Pew, pew.
We're going to.
Hey, we didn't get beat by Kansas. We didn't get beat by Kansas when we had the other.
Let me do with this to all the viewers out there. We appreciate you guys. If you guys show some support, hit the share button. Subscribe on the YouTube. We really appreciate it. Also, ASAPSportsNetwork.com. We're putting up. We're going to start putting up a lot more articles and things that from our analysts that are writing. So just check that out as well. But we appreciate you guys.
And we are live on every part of the social media: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Same thing for the Spotlight Sports Network. We're live over there as well. So make sure you check out SpotlightSportsNetwork.com for our website as well. And check out ASAPSportsNetwork.com for their merch. They do have merch as well. Got some dope merch. Maybe I might just cop, when I get paid. I might get some.
Give me one of these backpacks, boy.
Listen, listen, Dante got more Spotlight merch than I got merch. So that tells you something right now. So, so shout out to everybody that's been on here, man. And make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe. Follow us on all social media platforms. We'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're out of here, y'all. Peace, love, and blessings to everybody. Have a great Monday.
Let me hear it.
Yes,
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.